Oh, yeah, it's working on my end. I can see everything. Oh, it's beautiful. How's it going? How's it
Good.
doing? That's good. That's very good.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just.
Okay. I've gotta mute you. I've got you on so many different things. All right, we're live. How does it feel?
You know.
Is this like the first time you streamed with your face? Is
No.
this a new
I've done it
experience?
before.
No. Oh, okay. That's fine. I suppose that's okay. Oh, Pumpkin, you're here, and welcome, Xavier. We already have people. They've been waiting for us.
Hello. Sorry.
You you
My
kept them waiting
my
for so
my
long.
technical difficulties like usual. Um.
Okay. I'm watching your face through the stream, but I can hear you ahead of time.
Can you? Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
Well, I can hear you ahead of time because I've got you in real time on Discord, but then watching you move 5 minutes later because of my delay. It's fine. I can't watch it. It's been pretty all right, Xavier. Thank you for asking. How have you guys been? We're doing a little something different today. Little not on the regular format. I have so tangled myself up in chords. All right. Are you still fixing your end, Allie?
I'm just trying to post to Instagram. That's
Priorities. We have people here yet now. We
I
gotta entertain.
bruh, I know. Wait.
I mean, as I said in my tweet, we're just throwing what we can at the wall. Could be a train wreck. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I think that's great. Anyway, I have to mute you again because like I've got your Twitch going in the background, so I can watch when you bring up
Wait, I don't need to have my
words.
iPad up. I can just have this up?
Yeah. How have you been streaming before?
I've been having it up on my iPad, which is like right here.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
Oh. Oh, my lights are getting real
Terrible
hot.
bullies. Am I bullying her? Is that what you're saying? I don't think I'm doing anything to me.
He's always mean to me.
You love it. That's not my fault.
Well, I
I
guess
just
while
call
we
you.
wait for more people, we can ask, I don't know, what do you
Well, I
guys
mean, they can
expect
throw.
from this?
Yeah, this is just us like chilling out. We're vibing.
Hmm.
Allie, I've got a question for you. It'll be the very first questions. Has nothing to do with any of the spreadsheet you made for us to have in topics to come up with. I'm gonna ask
Okay.
you, what do you think the difference between chilling and vibing is?
Okay, so I feel like vibing's an aesthetic, you know?
An
Like
aesthetic?
you got a vibe going on, but chilling
Yeah.
is like relaxing and just being a loosey goosey.
So my opinion is like chilling is when you're just with people and you're chilling, you're just
Hmm.
hanging out, and like you don't mind your company. It's all good company. But vibing is when you like are connecting with your company and you guys like start
Okay.
talking about things like, yeah, you know what, this makes sense. This is fun.
Okay. Okay,
So
I
like
can get with that.
they're both a pretty low energy mood, but at the same time, it's like, you know what? Everything's fucking hunky dory right now. Also, what's your rule on swearings? Because that's
Oh, I don't give a fuck if you swear.
all right. Cool.
For like reals.
Let's see. Okay, so
Hi
Pumpkin
Kitty
says that he
Fries, how are you?
welcome, Kitty. Pumpkin says he saw this man's TikToks and now questions his life choices.
Your
Pumpkin?
TikToks?
Yeah, they found my TikTok. It's not hard to find.
I don't think I've shown my face. I think I might have shown my face once on TikTok thus far.
You haven't. You've uploaded videos? I haven't seen. I thought you just put your art up on your TikTok.
Well, one of my first ones was me showing my
Mhm.
shop. So I did like a cutesy little like roll in my chair and I'm like, this is me packing
I'm watching it.
orders.
I'm watching it now.
Oh
Okay,
God.
so this one is actually you drawing the BTS squad.
Oh,
Oh, that's your sticker machine? That's actually pretty cool.
that's my
Oh, there's
cutting
your
machine. So like I print my stickers off and then I input them into a program and then I get them to cut. But issues with machines is that it's, I just saw the notification on my phone that you liked. I can't read even though I have glasses.
that's a sign.
Well, to be
I
fair,
don't know you can see it, but
I'm getting new glasses, so
okay, okay. So Kitty says vibing is like going with the flow, which I also agree with.
yeah,
It's
I
like
could I
getting
can agree with that one. I can agree with that
you
one
get
for
into
sure.
the zone with something. It's like, you know what, I'm just vibing. This feels right.
Yeah.
Xavier, I'm sorry that you get bullied at school. Here's a life tip. If somebody's bullying you, punch them in the throat, but don't tell them I told you to do it.
Oh, ooh. I can add the
Oh,
chat to my OBS so I don't need to look. Oh,
you can.
wow.
Have you just been doing this as if like it's the year 2000, streaming is a brand new thing?
Don't be mean to
Like
me.
what is All right.
Don't judge
I'm gonna
me.
I'm gonna I'm gonna find the first topic. So you've been so excited about talking about creepypastas, Allie.
I love
Um,
creepypastas.
so tell me about Candle Cove because I don't know what this is. These look like different shows you've got down on
Okay,
this list here.
so the cool thing about Channel Zero was a show done by, I believe it was a sci-fi original, and they were
Oh,
all,
Channel Zero was a show? I
yeah.
thought you were just like referencing that this was the first podcast we
No,
were
no, 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 no,
doing.
no, no. So Channel
Okay,
Zero was
okay.
like a series, and within that series, they were all creepypastas. So they were based off of Candle Cove, which is a really popular one. It's the one where the kids are watching this show late at night called Candle Cove. I believe it was called Candle Cove. And
Okay.
the parents didn't see anything on the TV. So it was actually like an alternate reality place, and it was like a really creepy show where like they killed things in it, and it was like these really weird pirate puppets. And it was based off of the creepypasta, so they turned it into a TV series. So the first season is Candle Cove, which was really, really well done. Very slow though, mind you. Like if you're not into
Okay.
like slow burn shows, the first season definitely won't be for you.
I
But
mean, if it's all about being creepy, it has to be slow. Slow
well,
build is like an essence of scary stuff.
and I think it really depends on how you're wanting to tell the story, right? Like I think it was done well. Like I was pretty bored the first couple episodes, but I knew previously going into it what Candle Cove was. So it
Okay.
made it a little bit it made it more bearable, I guess you could say. And so every other season after that, they do another creepy pasta short. But it sucks because it started in 2016 and the last season that came out was The Dream Door, which was season 4, and it stopped in 2018. And I just found this series like about a year ago now because I have Shudder, and I'm so
I don't know
upset.
what Shudder is either, so
Oh, Shudder
that
is a streaming platform for horror movies. It's like $6 a month Canadian, which is pretty
oh,
fucking
okay.
rad.
Okay. So, do you feel that creepypastas in the last like 4 years have just died?
Yes and no. And I think the
Like,
reason why is because it depends on who you follow on YouTube. Because I used to watch a lot of, I think it was like Mr. Creepypasta and Mr. Nightmare, I think it was, and a bunch of other people who used to just just used to talk the stories and do like voiceovers and stuff like that.
okay.
But I will say, I haven't read a creepypasta since 2016. uh, so yeah.
Sorry, I just read Xavier's chat.
Oh,
Some kid put a picture of his butt crack on the internet without his consent.
oh my god, that's so mean. Bro,
Next time, you just have to fart on him. If he wants your butt crack, just sit on his face.
I'm so happy I grew up in the age that we did. As much as we had our shit, we at least didn't have the fucking internet. Not
Yeah,
a, I
that's
mean,
true.
I mean we
That's
did,
true.
but not to this extent.
Like we didn't have smartphones that could just immediately upload. Oh God, Allie, we're old. Why did you remind
Speaking
me?
speaking of being old, I saw this TikTok of this girl. You know what? I might share on here after. But it was this
Okay.
girl, and she's just dancing around. She has like this long, like, extension scene kid hair almost, and she's like, if you were a teen in this era, I'm so jealous of you. And it was
Oh
playing
my god,
Mr.
I saw that.
Brightside, which was really weird. And then it was like all these emo photos, and that made me feel so old.
That made me happy when I saw that. I'm like, oh, good. People still appreciate that look because let's be honest, scene and emo was the only like nice style when we were in high school. I remember girls had their bangs like pinned up on their forehead, and they just had this like massive tuft of hair, and I'm like, I hated that so much. It
The
was
little poof.
never.
It was the
It
poof.
was. Okay, the best description, in case I've described it poorly for people watching, is if you've seen the She-Ra animation on Netflix, it was She-Ra's hair poof right on the front. And they made fun of it in that show. That's
That's
how bad it was. And every girl had that for like 6 years, and I was like, nobody in my school is pretty because of this.
that's so, yeah. I mean, to be fair, I think I definitely had that hairstyle in like grade like 8 probably, and then I started getting into my own style in high school because we started high school grade 9. We were 9 to 12 for high school. But I think the one thing that bugs me about the if you were a teen in that era, I'm so jealous of you thing is that a lot of people don't realize how toxic the scene in emo community was. And like I'm not shitting you. Like that shit was bad. Like it TikTok's all about girls support other girls. We don't put other girls down. But in like the scene and emo community, like it was consistent. It
What's
was one
wrong?
other bitch after the other bitch's boyfriend. It was like it
Ellie,
was bad.
Ellie, yes, I agree with you. That was bad, but I have some information. That's just high school.
No, no, no,
Big
no, no, no,
reveal.
no, no.
Clear
It's
evidence.
not. It's not just high
Ellie,
school. It definitely isn't. It's definitely like
I mean, yeah, there's
people might
communities, but
disagree with me, but girls
really
are really
bad.
mean. Every single girl is capable of being a complete bitch.
Yeah, so it's not just the scene. It's the
But what I'm meaning
generation.
about the scene specifically though is that you need to be in that scene to really understand how toxic it is. Like an example, controlling relationships were so romanticized in that community that like if your boyfriend didn't tell you that he didn't like what you were wearing and he didn't want other guys looking at you, then he wasn't a good boyfriend. Like it's shit like that that was really really bad and really really toxic.
Is that why I was single all through high school?
Cuz
I
you weren't
was,
a dick.
I wasn't an asshole. I was also the fat guy, so like that was a factor, but my personality didn't win out either.
I love you, Steven, but you were also the funny fat guy, so
Is it funny? Is that like the automatic lose? Forever alone?
no, but it was just that high school stereotype, you know. It was always the chubby kid who was really funny but couldn't get the girl. But then they have glow ups.
I don't know if you're like talking about me, but
Yeah, I'm trying to gesture towards you.
I can't see your gestures until like 10 seconds later.
Oh,
There
okay.
it is.
Yeah,
Now
I
I can
guess so.
see it.
Okay. Yeah, I
I
was
was
trying to
like,
gesture you.
there was just sudden silence. It's like,
Monica
are you
S.
pointing at me?
Nope, the skeleton, so he's good. Nope, it's got the skeleton. That's true.
Oh yeah,
Where is your
he's off on
skeleton
the
friend?
side. He comes and sits in for me when I have to get up and walk away. I've taken his lights currently, because your background was so bright. I thought I had to at least live up to those expectations.
See, the trick is with this though, is because I don't have a ring light, nobody can see my rosacea. So nobody can see how uneven my cheeks are. And it's amazing. I love it. I love like the warm lights where it just hides all my imperfections. It's great.
You have uneven cheeks.
Oh
I've seen
yeah.
pictures of them.
Oh
If
yeah.
it makes you feel any better, I've got a droopy eye.
Do you
So my
actually?
left, I mean, it's not very prominent, but you'll notice after I point it out, my left eye is a little more squinty than my right.
Huh.
Um, that so like whenever I'm taking selfies or something, like I have to put effort into opening the eye a bit more so it doesn't look like I'm just falling asleep.
That's
Um,
funny. I didn't I didn't know that you had that.
I mean, it's not prominent, but I notice it because like a part of my face is actually paralyzed. I think that's a part that contributes to
What
it.
the fuck? How
Yeah,
did I
you
not
don't know
know
this
this?
about me. I've got
No.
so many like minor medical problems. Nothing that'll
Wow.
kill me faster, which sucks.
The
But
more you know. That's free real
yeah,
estate.
uh, it's
Wait, so
free
your
real
lights
estate.
kind of yeah, so like I mean at least I find that my lights warm me up because like I'm using my phone right now as a webcam because I don't have a webcam. And so because I have my nice orange lights here and then the bright white lights in the background, the orange lights cast like a more warm-esque glow, if that makes
I
any
thought
sense.
I thought you meant like physically warm, like these lights
Oh,
are
no, like my face is burning right now.
like.
It's very warm. It's very, very warm.
Everyone is beautiful in their own way. Mine is my chunkiness. Ah,
Hey,
Xavier.
you know
Yeah,
what? It's
no,
true.
he's owning it. So like, yeah, I find what's the most attractive feature in a person, period, is like confidence. You can be chunky, and if you're like quiet, like, oh, I hate my body, it's like there's nothing to hate. But I do find people like that significantly less attractive because I will also empathize and then start feeling that sort of way. But if they're like, "Damn, bitch, I'm fantastic," I'm like, "Hot damn, yes you are." So that's all it is for me.
I mean, that makes sense. I don't know. I am envious of people who have cute thick thighs and all that kind of stuff. Well, because I mean, I always grew up as like the twig in high school, and I mean, not to complain because I mean, you know, being skinny obviously has its perks, but I definitely grew up being a twig all throughout high school and stuff like that, and like I don't know, it's just I like I like people who are thick.
Thick
I'm
thighs are
fluffy. That's the best way to put it. I'm fluffy.
your
Amazing.
genius there. All
Amazing.
right, so on your creepypasta topic list here, we haven't had a good creepypasta in a long time, like
Yeah.
a new one. There are still some people like putting to that website, but nobody really goes to the creepypasta website anymore. Nobody talks about it.
No.
And I know this because as a loser with a YouTube who plays scary games to try to appeal to broad groups of the online community, nobody has gone to creepypasta for game inspiration for a long time because all of these indie games on like uh Itch.io and Game Jolt, they're all the same, and I hate it.
Speaking to that though,
Yes.
as someone who's a really, really, really big horror buff, and I love horror movies, I love anything to do with horror,
Okay.
I think more script writers and directors and producers should really, really look at sites like Creepypasta. Because there are a lot of good stories. Obviously they're hidden, but there's so much potential to make a really, really good horror movie from that instead of fucking rehashing Friday the 13th for the 20th fucking time or The Grudge for the third time. Like I'm
Because
so sick of that.
they can't make money on something they don't trust. That's how it works. Kitty Fry says, just write the next New York Times bestseller as a creepypasta right now,
uh
live.
I
I think it'll take a
I
little
am
work.
an artiste. I am not a writer. I cannot do that shit.
Well, how convenient for you that I was an aspiring author before I got a full-time job. Uh,
Yeah, you probably got better grades in English than I did. I don't even think we were
well,
in the same
not
English
look
class.
look at my grades. I stopped caring in high school, so my grades were garbage. But I was gonna go to university for like an English major
Oh.
because that was just the only thing I could think of at the time. But who wants to spend their life just working? I hate that. I hate that kind of stuff.
I feel that.
But so the thing I was gonna say when you mentioned like constantly reusing the same ideas. So SCP the SCP Wiki, I think, is what took the creepypasta's place in just like the trend category, because the SCP Wiki became a really popular thing around the end of our high school days.
Yeah.
And now we have things like SCP Containment Breach, the game, as well as just there's thousands of SCP Wiki entries, and there's a bunch of SCP games. So I feel that that's what took from creepypasta, but there's also a game, like a AAA title game that came out, I think like last year, called Control, which is completely based on the SCP Wiki idea. If you've like done any research into that game,
I think I remember hearing about it. I
So,
don't
yeah,
know if I looked into it though.
some people like the game. Critics said the story was pretty blah, but the concept behind the game was basically you're a character, you go in and you become the boss of this facility that houses special creatures, and on your quest to find like whatever answer you're looking for, I'm trying not to spoil it for anybody who doesn't want that, you can do all these side missions, which would be interacting with their equivalent to other SCP creatures.
Okay.
And they've even gone on record saying that they were inspired by the SCP Wiki for that. So we do have some groups with enough money still looking at the creepypasta genre stuff. We just don't have enough of them giving it attention.
I also don't think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I also don't think that a lot of people actually know about SCP or creepypasta. And I'm talking at like a bigger scale. Like you have people like us who are really interested in it, but if you think of directors, screenwriters, big Hollywood people, you know, a lot of them don't know about these underground websites because realistically it is almost an underground website. It's very niche and it has a very specific group of people that look for it. If you don't know what you're looking for, you're not going to find it. Like, I don't know how many people actually didn't know where Slenderman originated from. You know what I mean? Well, like, a lot of people didn't know that it was a creepypasta.
Kitty Fries, do you not know what the SCP is? My goodness.
I'm gonna let lordnope tell you what that is, because like that was he was the one that actually showed me SCP back in high school, and I'm pretty sure
nobody here is gonna know who I'm talking about, but Darius, if you remember him, he showed it.
I remember Darius. Yeah.
Yeah, I know about IKEA. Thanks, Pumpkin. Great contribution.
Wait, wasn't there an SCP called IKEA though?
Is there? Let me check.
Yeah, there is. Website. I'm pretty sure that is that the one that you're talking about, Pumpkin?
So, Kitty Fries, for context, the SCP Wiki is a what's the word? It is a not crowdsourced. It's basically a group project between tons of people on the internet just to write creepy stories about things, but in a format as if it was an official document by a government organization. So let me just choose a random one here from the first like list of them. SCP-077 Rot Skull. It's got its SCP number 77, object class Euclid. I've never known how to pronounce that. But then it gives you like a description on how you would contain this creature or area, and the specifications needed so it won't hurt anybody. And then it goes through a description and like things it's interacted with, and then they'll have like little story bits at the bottom, like we performed this test on the SCP today, and this result came out. The subject was terminated, unfortunately, and like it went into so much detail that like if you just came across this and you're like, what the hell is the SCP? Since there's no like front page description being like this is all fiction, you're like, wow, this is crazy! I found the holy grail of terribleness.
I added the link for the SCP wiki if you guys want to check it out.
There you go.
Sorry, but going back, there actually is. It's SCP Foundation IKEA. SCP 3008 is a large retail
Oh my
unit
goodness.
previously owned by the brand as IKEA, a popular furniture retail chain. And like, yeah, it's like a. It keeps shifting, I think, is the one that it is. I'm pretty sure. I know
So
very
like an
little
IKEA
about
will
it.
just change on occasion.
Sorry?
Like a regular IKEA, it'll just
Mm-hmm.
change just like
Yeah.
sometimes.
I don't know how dangerous he is. Actually, you know what? Let's take a peek since we're on here anyways. He's a lucid. That's his object class.
Oh my goodness. There's an SCP with like an animated title just on the list.
Oh.
3349. Um
Wait, was Siren Head was just made up by an artist though, wasn't it? Before it became a really big.
yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So somebody just created the artwork for it, and then somebody else found the artwork, said this was cool, and they made a Siren Head game on it on on itch.io. Um, and then I actually played it, and a whole bunch of other people did, and then Markiplier played it and brought it to the public eye, and then it like blew up. Gonna be honest, a little jealous.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry. So Siren Head is the creation of Trevor Henderson, a Canadian artist. That's really
Yes.
cool.
And he
Hello,
does a
fellow
lot of other
Canadian.
really creepy art stuff. Like he's definitely a page to follow if you like that stuff. They're all very unsettling.
That's
It's
really
wonderful.
cool.
But yeah, so that's what the SCP Foundation is. So back to the topic about the SCP not being like in popular media. I think one of the issues with that sentiment is once mainstream media picks up these niche things, I feel like they die. And we had a prime example of that with Slenderman.
I
Right?
am gonna interject here. And I agree with you to a certain extent, but I truly believe the reason why Slender Man, the movie, died was because it was based off of a true event that happened. And that's where things get really.
Did you watch it though? Did you watch the Slenderman movie?
I
'Cause
didn't
I did.
because I heard it was really bad. And
So,
because
so the thing with
you know the
it
case
was
that I'm talking about though, right?
I do
Okay.
know the case you're referring to. So the thing with the Slenderman movie is it may have been inspired by that event, but it actually doesn't reference it at all. And the movie is bad. It's really bad.
See,
Um,
but that's where I think it kind of it takes a turn. As soon as you try and like make something based off of a true event, whether or not it had a lot to do with it, I think that's kind of where things start to get
I wouldn't say it was
mangled.
based off of a true event though, based on like how the movie plays out.
And
And
I think what
that's
happened was they
I love the
stopped.
Slenderman movie. I think you can find it on Netflix currently because that's
Is
where
it
all the
really
bad
on
movies are.
Netflix? Oh God.
Yeah, yeah.
As somebody who watches a lot of horror movies and I also watch a lot of very bad horror movies, I don't really think it's worth anybody's time, even though I haven't seen it.
No,
But
you can't say that when you're talking about it. I think like now you have to like put the effort in to give it a watch. Like when COVID is over and we can hang out properly, we'll get a couple other friends and we'll have a bad movie night. So that way you can still have a good time watching it.
oh
Okay?
God, I'm gonna have to be lit for that, bro.
So that's the point of it.
uh, but
That's
sorry,
essentially
continue.
SCP. Um, but yeah, so the way the movie played out, I will agree that it was the poor handling of the movie that probably led to the death of Slenderman being a scary feature. Just like when Hollywood gets its grubby hands on anything sacred to small communities, they destroy it. Let's talk about M. Night Shyamalan's Avatar movie.
We don't
Um,
we don't talk about Americanizing any sort of anime on this podcast.
Ooh, we're not bringing up Death Note, that's for damn sure.
We ain't bringing up fucking anything. Fuck. I hate that shit. Anyways, continue.
Yeah, so that was the extent of it. Was like my feelings are, I wish mainstream media would pick up something back on the creepypasta stuff so we can get like another surge and like another scary event online that we don't have to think is going to actually kill us. Like Corona's a scary event, but I don't want that to be real. So when I say that, there's the context. I don't want a scary story online to lead to people getting stabbed in the woods like the Slenderman incident. But
that's gonna happen regardless.
Because people are idiots and we can't help that. But I want another surge of good quality book because of and like I've got over almost 300 videos on my YouTube channel, over probably 400 games I've played by indie devs, where it's like, oh, you've got some good ideas, but this is a game I've played 400 times now.
Yeah.
Because they're just doing the same thing over and over again. And when they have so many resources to be a wealth of inspiration, like there's being original, but if your original idea has been done 100 times, try to do something a little different.
Yeah, and I think that also comes back to horror movies as well. Like I've seen a lot of research and a lot of reboots recently.
We've been having reboots for like the last 10 years.
I hate it. I hate it. It's so boring. Like
I got some bad news for you, but also might be good news.
Do I want to hear it?
You actually you might find it interesting.
Okay.
So you know like the public domain and stuff, and how Disney forever ago managed to pay enough money to change the laws so things wouldn't enter the public domain for like 50 to 70 years, whereas beforehand it was like 20 years.
Yep.
So 2024, Mickey Mouse enters the public domain. So
interesting.
We are going to at least be alive during the time that all of these old school horror movies and characters enter the public domain. So,
like Blendy and the Ink Machine?
Blendy is much too recent.
Okay, yeah, no, that's fair.
I'm talking like Friday the 13th, Freddy Krueger, like all of those old school ones. We'll start to be able to, people can not exactly remake Freddy Krueger, but they can make a new monster that kind of functions like Freddy Krueger without fear of like, sorry, that's Freddy Krueger's power and we've copyrighted that, so you can't use it.
That's great, actually. That's really good.
So like that's something I'm looking forward to. The problem is we still have to wait a few more years.
I mean, at least we'll be alive for it. That's a positive, you know.
Xavier says he's gonna go to sleep. He has a talent show tomorrow.
Good luck on your talent show.
I hope you kick ass and chew bubblegum.
Oh.
Why wait? Do them both at the same time.
Oh my god.
All right, so let's see. Do you guys still want us to create our own creepypasta or SCP creature right now? God, I gotta wait for them.
Oh man.
Yep, it's horrible. It's awful.
Also copyright, like as an artist who enjoys making fan art, it's such a gray line and I hate it. I hate it so much. It's way too gray of a line, but like it makes me scared since I had one thing get taken off my shop for quote unquote copyright, so
there's always like some big faceless group that's doing it, so it's nobody you can like,
well, and most of the time it's a third party company that's taking it down. Like I'm pretty sure if Line Friends saw my peekaboo stickers, they'd be like, yeah, this bitch made like $100 off of this. We don't fucking care. But
That's $100 that could have been in somebody else's pocket who has millions already.
Yeah. But I mean, I guess that would be the same with like it's hard for horror games too. I mean a great example. I mean it's kind of tangenting off, but Friday the 13th the game. Now when that game came out, I was so excited. Being a huge fan of Jason and the Friday the 13th series, I was so stoked to have a 1v, I think it's 5 or 6 game. And let me tell you, that game is so much fun. Like the mechanics, and I really felt like it was balanced enough. Not like Dead by Daylight. I don't think Dead by Daylight is balanced whatsoever.
Okay.
But so when they created Friday the 13th, I'm pretty sure it was actually on Kickstarter beforehand. And the Kickstarter was for a camp counselor versus a killer. So it was around the same basis as Friday the 13th. I'm pretty sure that was the Kickstarter that it was previously. And then I believe that they got the rights to make it Friday the 13th. Now, during them having Friday the 13th out, I think it was out for like a year and a half or something like that. They were going to add a single player mode. They were adding more maps. They were adding more character skins. And the guy who wrote the original Friday the 13th script, who sold it to Paramount, came back into court and was suing for royalties, which is really interesting because he sold the rights, but he won the court case. So anything that was Friday the 13th could not be produced without his say-so.
There must have been like some fine print in the contract that like let him get away with that.
So what ended up happening was it ended up being the death of the Friday the 13th game. Like the devs still work on bug fixes and stuff, but they can't add anything new to it. Nothing can be added to that game because anything that's added to that game, all the money has to go to the original creator. Which sucks because the game was so good. And I just recently bought it back on PC because I played it so much on PlayStation 4. Yeah. Me and my friends, we only played a couple rounds, but like the game's dead. And it sucks because it had such great potential. And like, that's, it makes me so mad.
Real tears, my friend. Real tears.
Sorry, that was like a totally different segue, but...
No, that's fine. That's what the podcast is all about. We're chilling and vibing. We're venting and crying. I can't rap, so that was all you're going to get out of me for that. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, 70 years is the public domain. So because... so whenever Friday the 13th originally came out, it's 70 years past that point.
I'm not going to be alive, bro. That shit came out in the 80s.
No, that's fine. I mean, we're literally like 50 years away from the 80s now, almost. So, we just got another 50 to go. I'll just be really old.
I already feel old and I'm only 26.
Same, bro.
I honestly blame TikTok. I was already having a quarter life crisis. Like I was already having a hard time trying to wrap my head around about not being able to own a house or have a family when I'm older kind of thing. Like I was already freaking out about that because being a girl, you have a internal time clock. So I was already having a quarter life crisis. And then all of a sudden I go on TikTok and all these people on there are calling me old. I was born in 94. I'm not old.
I've been having that quarter life crisis since I turned 22. My rule to like kick my butt into gear and be productive and work on my life was like, I've gotta do this by the time I'm 30, otherwise I'm gonna die. If I haven't been successful by the time I'm 30, I'm just gonna drop dead. I can't help it, and that's like what got me out of like just staying in bed all day and going to work and then going back to bed. And then Corona happened, so now I have to do that again. So it's like, I don't have a choice.
Well, and we had all those plans to like knock off shit off your bucket list to make videos with that, and we can't even do that. And of course, BC is just fucking twiddling their thumbs when it comes to Corona. I mean, Canada in general.
Reducing restrictions again.
Yeah, we can have groups up to 10 people outside. We'll see how that goes.
We've already tried that. It's not gonna work. Let's see. Pumpkin says, which one of these is gonna live longer? It's a fun game.
I don't know. I played too much Overwatch that I'm probably gonna die of a heart attack while playing that game, which is gonna be
That's a
very, very
stressful
soon.
game, but like, I think I'm the one doing more risky things than you, so. Not to mention,
to be
I
fair,
literally drive a
though,
car that makes 75 different sounds that a car shouldn't make.
to be fair though, I sit on this chair for like 13 hours a day. So you at least go to the gym, bro.
That's what I
You
mean.
at
Like,
least
I'm
work
exposing
out.
myself to the current pandemic because I want to stay in shape.
FaZe. Hi.
Oh, Lemon
Overwatch.
with FaZe?
Yeah.
Oh, FaZe. What's shaking, bacon?
It's my
Forever,
homie
man.
FaZe.
You got here just in time to talk about us, who's gonna die first. Really, really positive.
Yeah. Talking about how old we are. Never played. Don't do it. I bought another account and I don't know why I fucking did it. Don't do it. Don't do it at all.
So I did classic ranked the other day, and I placed bronze just because I hadn't played in forever. My first game out of placements was just people like heavy breathing into their mics. Top of their lungs. Yeah,
Dude.
yeah.
I got
My only comment was, "Oh, it's gonna be one of these games." And they just started like swearing out the wazoo.
Dude, me and FaZe and one of his friends, Eddie, we were playing Overwatch. What was it? Like over the weekend or something like that.
Yeah.
And I can get a little toxic. I will say that. If I'm in a mood, I'll get toxic. But but we enter in this game, okay? So I'm the only silver healer and everybody else was plat. But to be fair, I've been playing in a plat elo for over a year. So on my new account, I'm actually a plat support player. So like I play plat games. Anyways, I hop into team chat. And just before I hop into team chat, FaZe goes, "This girl's gonna be a bitch." And I was like, "What? Is she saying something?" And he was like, "Nah, I can just tell she's gonna be a fucking bitch." And I was like, okay, whatever. So we go in there. Moment I get in, oh, this support's going Mercy. We'll see how that goes. And I'm like, okay, well, do you want me to switch? I'll switch. And she's like, "No, honey, I just know that you're getting boosted, so whatever." And I'm like, we haven't even left the fucking gates yet, and you're already saying this shit. And the moment we get out, she's like, "Oh my god, this e-girl is just being such a fucking bitch." And I'm like, oh, bro.
I thought there was like some female solidarity online because of the shit you guys already have to deal with.
It's bullshit. It is bullshit. That's what I was saying about girls being bitches. Is that
Allie, all I can say to you is, bruh.
bruh. No, but actually, speaking of bruh, I actually did bruh her a couple times because she was just being so annoying. FaZe DC'd, and then she goes, "Don't worry, he'll be back for his e-thought." And I was just like, what the? Bro, you're playing Zen. Shut the fuck up. Dude, I was so pissed. Dude, I was so mad. And like I said, like I don't normally get mad that much. But like, and there was just something about like the moment that she started just ripping me to shreds, before I even said anything, I started getting like hot sweats and panic attacks, and like it was bizarre. It was bad because, so being a girl gamer, I am so used to guys talking out of their fucking ass, and that's fine. You know what? I got the skin for it, whatever. But as soon as another girl comes in and starts just degrading you and starts treating you like you're nothing, like it's a whole nother feeling that I've never had before, because most of the girls that I've met on Overwatch, some of them can be a little bit annoying. You don't need communication. FaZe will know that one. But it's like I can deal with it, but that one was by far the worst. Like I couldn't believe it. And like obviously she had a fucking simp next to her, just, egging her on, being like, yeah. And I'm like, dude, you're being a fucking pick me girl right now. Like that's not a good look. Dude, yeah, we don't need communication. Shut the fuck up. This is Overwatch. We need communication. But yeah.
Oh my god. So all you have to do now is like practice your e-girl voice. So the next time it happens.
I can't. Dude, I'm not an I'm a bruh girl. I am a
You're
bruh
girl.
girl.
They're gonna hate the e-girl voice. It'll be a weapon, a secret weapon, and you don't have to say anything.
I can't. I can't.
Anita?
Anita?
And that's what you just keep saying to her, and then eventually she's gonna like
Just consistently. Anita, 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 Anita.
But the best thing is, if you find somebody that responds with "Now you fucked up," you know you've found a friend for life.
That's fair. That's fair.
Time to clip Jake.
Oh my fucking god.
Do it.
No.
Clip it. Clip that shit.
No. Oh my god.
I think
Yeah.
Pumpkin's playing Minecraft right now. He says Glow Squid's pretty okay.
I don't play Minecraft. I don't play Minecraft or Fortnite.
You need to practice them.
Ada. I can't do that.
I have an erection.
Oh my god. Steven!
Sorry, you said it, not me.
Bruh.
I lied. You can't give me an erection.
Good. That's not what bros are for. I mean, I guess if you want to change the
Howie,
definition
don't
of
you
that
know
between
that's
bros.
exactly what bros are for.
Is that why it's bros before hoes?
If you can't touch your bro's dick, are you really bros?
Is that gay?
It's only gay if you're gay. if I suck the guy's dick, it doesn't make me gay.
No homo.
It just means I've sucked the dick.
I hope none of this is offensive. I don't know what's offensive anymore on the internet. Because I mean,
I'm stealing this analogy from somebody else, but it's like if you take the garbage out, are you a garbage man?
oh, good point. Facts.
Thanks, Discord.
That's funny. Oh my god. Well, because I mean, okay. So speaking of being offensive, we grew up in such a.
Can I add one more thing to that?
Yeah, of course.
Because of TikTok, I have started to question my sexuality a little bit. Because there have been like 2 guys that have shown up with like the pixie freckles makeup and shit, and they've been like wearing a dress.
Dude,
and they're
seriously
like,
though.
That, and I'd be like, you know what? I'd kiss him. I wouldn't touch his penis at all because I hate penises. That's how I know I'm not actually gay. But I was like, I give him a kiss.
I give him a little smoocher. Dog. Did you fart?
Right, you can say your stuff now.
Oh my god, the dog farted. Sorry, it smells so bad.
Oh, wow, okay.
Woo. Oh yeah, so speaking of being offensive, we grew up in like a really interesting time where like every joke that we watched on YouTube or said even at school would be so offensive. It would probably be cancel culture like worthy now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so that's it was offensive at the time, but everybody accepted it. But nowadays, if you were to look back at that, it's all a problem.
And like I will admit, I still struggle with saying those jokes, but obviously I tell it to like I say them to certain friends. Just no eye contact. Oh my god.
I mean, at that point, it just depends how much you're paying me.
Oh my god. But yeah, so like I don't know. I have a hard time with stuff now. I mean, when I meet new people, I ask them what their boundaries are, essentially, like what they're okay with joking about and what they're not okay with joking about. But I still can be pretty edgy with my humor. So like saying the R word. I think
I've stopped saying the R word because I just don't think it's a great term to use for things. I don't know what the F word is.
It's the FAG. Yeah.
Okay.
See,
all right, Pumpkin, let's hear your joke. Try to keep it PG.
Well, Pumpkin tells their joke. I try my best not to say the R word. Actually, funny story. I lived with one of my best friends and his wife. and
Okay.
or sorry, I should say his partner. And his partner told me that they don't appreciate it when we said, haha, that's gay, or the R word jokes. Because, like I said, we loved edgy comedy. So, like, it was just a part of our vocabulary for so many years. And so I was like, whatever. She's just being whatever. I'll do it for her. Or them. Oh my God. Huh. Sorry. I will do it for them. Anyways. And ever since then, every single time it pops into my brain to say it, I instantly think, oh my God, they're behind a bush. They're going to come after me and yell at me. So now I can't say it because I have this mental image in my head of them just over my shoulder being like, Allie, don't you fucking say it. I swear to God.
Allie, I don't know how to tell you this, but that's called trauma.
They traumatized me.
That's a trauma response right there.
I mean, but it's probably a good trauma response.
I know, it is a better thing to not use that as a term. I still do use it as a synonym for, like, as something is kind of silly.
Yeah,
but
no.
Ironically, and I don't know if that makes it better. Like, I've got a video up with Tubes where she was telling me something, and I didn't have a response to it, and my initial instinct was to say, like,
that's R word,
the big gay.
That's the big gay.
And that was my response. And it's like, I don't know if that fits here. Like, I just thought that to myself. But he laughed, so I'm like, I guess this works. All right, let's go on.
Yeah, that's, I mean, I don't know. I still have I mean, I will say that I do, depending on my certain groups, I still will say certain things. But I try my best to not say it. Like, when I say those words, I don't try to mean them offensively. Like, I know that the word itself generally can be offensive and is used as an offensive term, but I try, like, when I say those things, I'm not thinking of that word and, like, I want to hurt somebody, you know what I mean? But too much for my little artist brain. I don't.
Okay. Pumpkin has said, what is Africa's favorite sport?
I don't know if I want to. Oh my God, Pumpkin. Oh my God. Scroll up. It's right there.
Yeah, I saw it.
I can't.
I mean, if we're going to be real, that's also my favorite sport.
Dude, I love food.
I don't eat, and I love food, yeah.
I love food. I love bubble tea. Is bubble tea food? Does that count?
I mean, it's calories, so I've limited myself to bubble tea once a month, just because I get easily addicted to, like, guilty pleasures and snacks like things. Like, last year I had an ice cap or a frappuccino like 5 times a week. It's probably the only reason I don't have a washboard abs right now is because I drank so many of them.
Dude, I did that at the beginning of the pandemic.
Exactly. That's another part of it. It's like, well,
Yeah.
What else am I gonna do? And the year before that, like the start of 2019, I think it was, no, 2020. I had one Slurpee at the start of the year, and then I haven't had a Slurpee since. And all I did was replace my Slurpee craving with ice caps and frappuccinos. And this year I told myself, no ice caps and frappuccinos. And now I've replaced it with bubble teas. So, like, I haven't gotten better. I'm just swapping out one bad for another.
Dude, I love bubble tea. It's probably a good thing that I work from home for, like, the last year. But I used to get bubble tea, and I shit you not. Like, I used to get bubble tea, like, 3 to 4 times a week.
That's like about where I'm almost at. I've tried to limit myself to once a month, but I will get 3 at a time once a month.
Dude, those pearls don't stay good though. You gotta drink them within.
I drank them all within 2 hours. That's
okay, yeah. No, I feel that. I got you. But I love me some boba. I don't know what I would do without bubble tea, to be honest. I love that shit.
Probably.
Like, that shit is life. Boba is life.
Also, I love your koalas in the background.
His name is Koya. And
I'm so excited to tell me about it.
Dude, this boy here, is my bias from BTS RM. It's his Line Friends character. I have
Okay,
1, 2,
okay.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I even have a little bubble tea one.
Nobody else can really see them, but that's all right.
I know, they're all under my desk. And then I have Mong, which is another one. And I have like 50 of him. Here, let me grab one.
That guy? Okay. Just remember, I'm seeing these things like 20 seconds later, so...
Right, right. And then I also have my Gloomy Bears. I can't find any more, though. They stopped kind of selling them, but... Then I have all my Little Pony stuff, too.
I've got a friend who's very into the Squishmallows.
Oh, I have one. They're comfy.
That's why she's got probably like 20 of them. We went to the store yesterday and got like a reversible one.
Ooh.
So like on one side it's a burb, and on the other side it's a parrot burb.
Burb.
Burbs.
Burbs.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I can't reach it. I got I don't have a Squishmallow, but I got a Stuffy a little while ago. From an Etsy shop, and you know the soot sprites from the Howl's Moving Castle or Spirited Away from the Ghibli movies?
Yep.
So somebody made a little soot sprite plushie, and it's just this like big hairball with the big eyes on it.
Aw,
and it's so
cute.
adorable.
That's
and
so cute.
I got pipe cleaners, black ones, and put them on the side so it has like the dangly arms that they have.
Oh, that's so cute.
That is great, and I love it so much.
Oh, did I ever show you my Dragon Ball pillows I made?
You showed me the designs for them. I don't think I saw the final product.
Should I go get them?
That's up to you.
Should I show you? Oh, they're so far.
All right, if we have enough people asking, Kitty Fries says that's Pog. I want to point out right now how much I hate the term Pog. I despise
Omega
it.
lol.
I'm glad the term has mostly died and people have stopped perpetuating it over that short
People
period
still
of time.
say it in Overwatch. It drives me nuts.
Oh, I know they say it, but at least I don't have to hear it in my day-to-day life when I'm just checking out memes.
That's poggers.
That's poggers.
That's poggers.
It's such a gross English-sounding word.
Poggers.
It's got the hard p, and then it's got
yeah.
It's like, oh, that's poggers. I like vibing, because it's like, oh man, I vibe with that. You can't say, oh man, I pog with that.
Oh yeah, that just sounds too sexual. Okay, Kitty Fries wants to see them, so okay, give me two secs. 1 second.
I will distract people. How do you guys feel about ARGs? So alternate reality game is the term for ARG, I believe. And with phones like increasing in complexity, being able to do these perceived realities just through the phones, like Pokemon Go, for example, would be an ARG because you can project the Pokemon into the real world. How would you feel about a horror-themed ARG, much like the Five Nights at Freddy's ARG that they made?
So you're thinking of a different ARG. So the ARGs that I have in this are...
Those are the ones that like people have created stories based around our reality, right?
So they create a story and they base it on our reality, and the players watching it have an impact on what the choices can make. So I'm trying to think of a really good example one. Like,
You feel a little sleepy. It's almost my bedtime.
It's... Whoa.
Kitty Fries says FNAF Go. I guess that was the Five Nights at Freddy's ARG one.
Yeah, so I'm trying to think of like a really... So the idea of an ARG game, most of the time it's on YouTube platforms now, or TikTok actually does them a lot too. Normally they're horror-based themed. They'll have a storyline, and the people interacting can help shift that storyline. And sometimes what ARGs do is they actually if you sign up for these certain things, like if you unlock different codes and unlock more of the story, they actually, certain ones will send you like emails or phone calls or mail to help you proceed in this actual story in real life.
Oh, that would have been cool.
They still do them. It's just, it's few and far between. A lot of them are just like, I didn't have enough time to list all the ARGs that I've watched, but Daisy
Yeah.
Brown is an ARG where a lot of people thought it was real and they were, well, didn't think it was real, but they were playing along with the story and they were trying to figure out more. So, like, sometimes in the title, there'll be a code and you look at it and you're like, okay, that doesn't make any sense. So then you break it down and you find out another part of the story that the storyteller's trying to tell.
Okay, so yeah, it's a big puzzle, and like people can be involved in them.
Yeah.
I think Markiplier tried to do something like that. I know the game theorists definitely did a thing like that, but that was also mostly to promote their own things as opposed.
But
to,
that's
like,
normally what it
making
is a
money.
lot of times it's promotional based. Like, for instance, I would say probably one of the bigger ARGs. Well, okay, there was ARGs before it, but the Blair Witch Project, for instance, they made you think that these people were actually missing, that they were real people, that they were doing a real thing in the woods, and they actually sent out like missing posters of them. They had websites linking to missing people's reports of them, and like, so it was very much like trying to,
Really?
yeah, trying to base it in our reality, and people were looking at this trying to solve this mystery of what this Blair Witch was, and then the movie came out. So it was that they were promoting the movie before people knew it was a movie.
Okay, that's a smart way of doing it.
I think, I believe the creator, I don't know, I can't remember off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure the person who originally created Halo was actually making a game previously beforehand, and they were doing the same thing. It was very ARG based, where people were figuring out the story, and that they actually would send them CDs that they would have to listen to figure out more of the story. I can send you a bunch of stuff, and then we can talk about it more
Okay.
after. But it is really, it's a really cool idea. Like, and I think a lot of people are going through TikTok and trying to do it through TikTok now, which is a really interesting way of doing it, especially because it's only 60-second videos, right? So you only have so much time to try and give the player, enough to view. But hold on, I have my pillows here.
I'm holding on. We're ready for the pillows.
So here's my Krillin pillow that I made. That's a little Krillin. They're actually really comfy, and you can unzip them.
I love the Krillin one.
And
honestly.
take a
It's
dude.
great.
The Krillin one is like the best. And then I also did Goku. And honestly, as much as I didn't like the shape of this one, it's actually really nice for like the back of your neck. Like, it's so comfy. I gave it to my parents, and like that's all my stepdad uses for like when he's laying down on the couch is this. He'll just like literally go like that. It's so comfy. The dog even uses it. But yeah, I've had these for like 6 months now, and I haven't been able to put them on my shop yet, but they'll be there one day.
Okay. So, on the topic of our ARGs and such, so I've just posted a link in the chat. So SCP-1471 is kind of, I'm really surprised nobody has made an app for this.
Oh, I remember saying this.
Basically, it's supposedly an like non-hostile SCP, but when you take photos, the creature would just appear in the background staring through windows or something. And now that we have enough like machine learning technology that knows what a window is, it'd be super easy to like do that. And,
That's true.
And just like, make an app.
Oh shit! Sorry. One sec. Guts.
Oh, is the pupper getting in the way? Is he doing some things? I guess I'll just keep you guys occupied. But yeah, so like having this creature like show up in photos and stuff in the background, hilarious prank. or terrifying experience. And I really feel like just more should be done with that sort of thing. I just feel like there should be much more. There's so much more potential for scary stuff online than we get anymore. And because of how many scary games I've played, I am just kind of numb to all of them. When they hit me with jump scares, it's like, alright, that's a jump scare. You got me, only because I was surprised, but I'm not actually afraid of it. And that's why, like, I will always promote things that have, like, a slow, subtle build-up to fear, because you become your own enemy instead of anything else.
Jump scares are too overly used.
That's another thing too. Since the only place they were used well, I think, was the original Five Nights at Freddy's. In terms of just a reference, other places have used them well, but FNAF number 1, because you didn't know what to expect. But they also prepare you saying, like, this is how the game is going to go, and if you lose, the punishment, essentially, for playing the game poorly was a jump scare. So it's like, alright, that plays out, because you're only getting jump scared because you lost. Other games where you're, like, walking down the hallway and nothing's happening, and then, oh, look, a monster jumped in your face! Oh, okay, I still keep playing the game? That was just to scare me? How pointless. Wow, that was...
I don't like jump scares. I think that they're not used efficiently anymore, and honestly, I mean, I'm talking from a horror movie perspective, you more so of games, but I really believe that Paranormal Activity ruined it. There were so many jump scares in that movie that from then after, there was so many more. Like, if you watch old 80s horror movies, yeah, they're cheesy, but they only had a couple jump scares here and there, and they were useful because it was helping tell that story. It wasn't just to scare you, it was just to keep you on your toes for a little bit longer. But everything now is just, I hate jump scares. They're stupid. They don't even scare me. They're just annoying as fuck.
So you want to know something kind of cool? There's a drive-in movie theater about 20 minutes from where I live. They're showing the original Dracula and Frankenstein this weekend.
Really?
Yeah, they're going old school.
Huh. That's interesting.
Yeah, so there you go. Fun date idea. Take your boy with you, and then go watch a scary old school movie.
He doesn't like scary movies.
If he can't handle a scary movie from, like, the 80s or 70s, I'm sorry. He needs to get good.
I watch all my horror movies by myself.
Oh.
But that's okay. I'm used to it. But that's why I wanted to.
If it wasn't Rona, I would go with you, and I would, like, bring a bag of popcorn so we don't have to pay overpriced.
Yeah, but the difference is that the overpriced popcorn just has a different taste to it, you know? Like, I miss disappointment. If disappointment tastes good, then hell yeah.
You don't. Okay, so there's a difference between the drive-in theater popcorn and movie theater popcorn.
Mm-hmm.
The drive-in theater popcorn is probably $20 for a bag instead of $15 or $10 for a bag.
That's fair.
It's way overpriced. Horribly overpriced.
That's fair. Honestly, I'm surprised that, like, you know what? No, I can't say that I'm surprised, but, like, the drive-in is such a good way of having people go see movies, especially in a pandemic world. Like, if you really think about it, I'm surprised that, like, I haven't seen, like, more of it. Like, I haven't seen any advertisements for or anything like that. All I've seen is a bunch of, like, local theaters just get really frustrated with not being allowed to be open, but...
Or they'll, like, limit the capacity to a quarter of the percentage, but nobody still feels comfortable going into an enclosed space.
Yeah, fuck that. No, I'm not going in there.
I did have the idea, like, oh, hey, if I only have to buy 50 tickets because that's all they're allowing in, I could just rent out the theater to myself.
To yourself.
At a quarter of the cost.
That's funny.
It's like, hey, I've got the 3 friends in my circle. We're going to see a movie at the theater. It's like, but what about other people? It'll just be us.
I mean, for us, to be fair, and this might be an unpopular opinion, but I don't think I mean, at least in BC, I think that we're being a little bit too
Way too
lenient.
lenient.
Too
Absolutely,
lenient.
100%. No, like it's absolutely ridiculous
It's
how
infuriating. I'm
poorly
so sick
handled.
of it. I'm
Yeah,
so over it. And like,
like
pe-
everybody makes fun of America for having so many cases and their poor handling, but they've almost vaccinated their entire
see,
country,
but here's the thing though.
and we're
So
still waiting.
when we first started, BC was very much like the poster child for how we were handling the pandemic. They're like, BC's doing so well, they have less cases, blah, blah, blah. But then as soon as we started getting that praise, we started just trickling
Going down.
off. And it was just, but it's so annoying. And I think the other reason why is because, okay, so it is really annoying that the States has been vaccinated 2 times the population of Canada, but we also don't have enough vaccines right now.
But that's kind of the thing was the
And
states who didn't believe in COVID
I
when it
know,
started
I know.
pre-ordered all their vaccines, and it's like, sorry, why didn't we do that?
Well, and also
Um,
we didn't bet on the vaccine quick enough. So we never actually got like a decent amount of vaccine. Like it's just it's so I'm over it.
and like even worse than that, we never closed our borders. We closed our borders to the United States because they had high cases, but we were still allowing people to fly everywhere they wanted, and
I
then
know.
we stopped telling them they had to quarantine. If you're a normal person, oh, quarantine for 2 weeks. But if you have money, you only have to stay inside for 3 days.
Did you also
We now
hear?
take Yeah, what?
Did you also hear that people who are traveling aren't actually doing the 3 day stay in a fucking hotel? They're just walking out of the airports being like, peace.
Okay, so there's that's another stupid way our government handled that is so if they don't stay for 3 days in the hotel, they get a fine. Um, but they also have to pay for the hotel themselves. They aren't allowed to quarantine at home, and if they're gonna have somebody checking a hotel, what's to stop them from just creating a temporary job where somebody goes, knocks on their door, you're home, all right, that's all.
It's just
And the
it's
thing
just so
is,
infuriating.
if they had just stopped flights, you know, we wouldn't have the UK and African variant fucking running amok right now. We wouldn't have to
If
be
we
as
just
careful as we are now. I mean, we should still be that careful, absolutely, but we wouldn't have to be so scared of it.
we should have done what New Zealand and Australia did, where they just shut everything. Nobody could come in, nobody could leave for a certain amount of weeks, and they were 0 cases for the entire fucking year. And I
Yep.
mean, I understand that Canada's bigger, but like, come on. Like I don't get it. Like here I am. And I mean, you
We
know
have enough
how
infrastructure. The thing is, like, they were still allowing necessary travel. So, like, food, supplies, that's fine. But they didn't stop recreational travel, and that's where we were
no,
getting it
they
from.
didn't. I
Gonna go
mean,
visit my family in England.
but you look at the fucking snowbirds who leave Canada for the winter and go to the States and now they're coming back. And it's just like, wow, fucking great that you could leave our country for a certain amount of months while I had to stay locked inside my fucking house, haven't been
Yep.
able to hang out with my friends for over a year. I'm
Yeah.
literally going nuts. But good for you. You went down and you traveled somewhere and now you're having a good time, possibly infecting other people, which is not fair to them either. And now you're coming back to Canada and you're potentially infecting me.
Yeah.
Like, it's just.
Basically, for anybody in our chat that is in America, Canada is just as corrupt as any other country, but
We're just good at
because we
hiding it.
Oh no, we don't hide it.
We
It's
do.
because the people currently, like, the age group ahead of us just didn't care enough to change anything, and Canada will also silence people just the way Russia does. So many
It's so
people have
annoying.
been, like, politically disappeared in Canada. You've got no idea.
Hello, the broadcast.
What's shaking?
Right
We're just
now,
talking about the corrupt politics of Canada and our poor handling of the coronavirus.
Yeah. I just really want to leave. Like, so my tattoo artist, actually,
Yeah.
She applied to go do Anime Con down in Virginia, I believe. Now, I was supposed to go with her last year. She invited me to go help her out at her booth, and I was like, fuck yeah, I'll be your booth, babe. Literally, all my tattoos are done by you. Let's do it. And, like, especially as somebody who's passionate about tattoos, you know, like, it was very much like, I was really excited.
Still jealous.
Then the then the pandemic hit,
Corona.
and then now they're setting it up for October of this year in Virginia, and she got accepted. And she's like, would you still want to go? And I'm like, fuck yeah, I will. But unfortunately, we're still having to wait for our vaccine. Like, me and Steven, we probably won't get our vaccines earliest August. Earliest. That doesn't mean that we might not get it until possibly October. You know what? I probably won't get it.
Final phase. So they say September is when we'll start to get ours.
So there's not that there's no vaccines out in Canada. It's just that they have a very limited supply. So what they're doing in BC specifically, I don't know if they're doing this for all the provinces, but in BC specifically.
Can I pause you for 1 second?
Yeah.
It says I'm very quiet. You might need to turn me up on Discord.
Oh. Maybe I gotta turn you up. Wait, do I have you turn?
If you right click my face, you'll see my volume.
Okay, talk.
Hello, it is I, the Lord of Nope.
Maybe I just gotta turn you up on my thing.
I will still ramble. So are there like no vaccines going out in Canada? There are vaccines, but our government didn't pre-order enough, and
they don't have enough. So
they don't have enough, and so we also have the issue of, because we took too long to order our vaccines and other companies are coming out with their versions of the vaccine, we're like trying to scoop up all these different kinds, and they have like different success rates and different effects on the body, and they're like, one person out of every million might have a really bad reaction to the vaccine. So it's still worth it to take that chance.
Oh, I'm getting it. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I read a news article today, and this is just the headline, so please don't quote me on this. But somebody took like one of the most recent vaccines to get approved, and they suddenly had complications, and they passed away. There's no evidence to say it was from the vaccine, but the article was trying to make it sound like it was the vaccine.
Of course they were.
And the only thing I said to my coworker was, I don't care. What do I have to lose?
Well, and like, so Kitty Fries, they are prioritizing people in Canada, but in BC specifically, what our head medical official is doing is that she is prioritizing older people, which is fair. But she's knocking it down by like 10 years. So a couple weeks ago, it was people who were 90. Now this week, it's people who are 85. And the next couple weeks, it's going to be 80. And then so that's why it's going to take so long for us to get it. And you're probably going to get it before I do, Steven, because I work from home. My industry is probably going to be the very last industry to get shots or vaccines.
I work at a small warehouse. We're not even really going to be on the list because we have 5 employees.
Oh, okay.
I work with one guy.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
so
I'm fine after 3 weeks.
We're kind of both in that same boat.
See, and I know a lot of people who have already gotten the vaccine, and they were saying that they were fine. They were a little bit tired after their first one, but it wasn't a big deal. I don't know. For me personally, because I have family who would be greatly affected by this virus, whatever it is you're putting in my body, do it. As long as I can protect my family and protect my parents and protect my grandparents and protect other people, I don't give a fuck what you put in me. I pay someone to stab me with a tattoo needle once every 2 months. Like,
I have no apprehension about getting the vaccine. The question I actually have is, so the Pfizer vaccine was the first one to come out. They say it's 99% effective, which means out of every 100 people that get it, one person will still likely
that makes sense, Kitty Fries.
That's a very rough way of describing how the estimate works. I can't remember what the other vaccine that they've just released is. I think it's the Moderna one is what Canada has just accepted in.
Was that the one that
Uh,
Johnson and Johnson got approved for?
oh, maybe it was Johnson and Johnson's vaccine.
Maybe.
But Johnson and Johnson's vaccine was only 74% effective. So out of every 100 people, 25 people might still catch it, but it's better than nothing. My question is, if you get the Johnson and Johnson one, because there's more of it in Canada, because we have to now pick and choose which vaccine we get just to be able to live life again.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say you wait a safe period before you go and get a second vaccine, because Johnson and Johnson, you only need the one shot, whereas Pfizer, you need the first shot and then a booster shot to make it work.
I'm not sure if it is Johnson and Johnson. I just saw something that they got approved for it.
Kitty Fry says Moderna, so
Okay.
I'll swap to saying Moderna. So my question is, though, because Pfizer is 99% effective, but there's less of it to go around because it was already in high demand, if we take the Moderna one and have a 75% chance of not catching the disease,
Mm-hmm.
and, you know, we can go out and live our lives relatively normally again, when it's safe to do so, is it bad to then go and take the Pfizer vaccine and up your success rate to 99%?
I don't think that's how it works though. I don't know.
Why wouldn't it? Because all they're doing is they're injecting you with a version of the virus that has the way COVID infects people.
It's
But
actually,
it's
I don't think it actually is part of the virus, though. They're using RNA, which is different from DNA, which is why a lot of people are skeptical on taking it. And I believe that they're trying to come out with a DNA version of the vaccine because a lot of people don't want to take the RNA.
So the way I had heard it though was like, so the part of the coronavirus that like attaches to our cells and infects us is what they isolated from other viruses.
Okay.
And so the RNA is kind of like what makes up those connectors, and then the disease itself puts its DNA into the cells it hijacks, and that's how it replicates.
You paid attention in biology class, bro.
I failed biology class. I just know how to read now.
No, you didn't.
I failed Bio 12. I failed it.
We were in the same class. You did not.
I failed the final exam. That's like the one class I
You
got
did
an F in.
not.
100%.
Really?
I'm not proud to admit it, but you know the teacher didn't really like me either. He thought I was just a
Mr. Clark.
Yeah, like
Mr. Clark was our teacher.
He straight up like if I made eye contact, he called me out knowing I wouldn't have the answer, or like he just wrote me off as a bad student.
I always thought he was really rad because like he didn't really like question anything I did. He just let me do whatever the fuck I wanted, and I got A's and B's.
Too, but like when you're a bad student and somebody gives you a look, you know how they feel about you.
That's
and so I failed bio.
Sorry, that was a tangent.
little bit. But yeah, so that's the way the virus, the vaccine works. Is the vaccine has taken from another virus the way COVID infects people, and it's the vaccine is that effect, and so they inject that into your body in a neutered state, so it can't actually infect you. It simply has the stuff that functions as if it could infect you, and your body sees that. It's like, shouldn't be here. Let's eat that, and this is how we'll make things to eat it in the future in case we have to deal with it again. And so because COVID attaches to our cells in the way that the virus or the vaccine they gives us would do so, your body has pre-prepared a response to essentially cut off the way for COVID to reproduce, but not actually kill the COVID virus if it enters you. So the way it ends up working is our body will eat the arms and legs of the coronavirus, and then the virus itself will die in our system.
Nice.
Because it can't reproduce.
That's metal.
Metal as fuck, yeah. We just literally cut off its arms and legs. It's like, I'll eat more corona if I have to.
No, but instead we're gonna let you suffer.
Exactly.
That's
so
funny.
So that's why I'm thinking, like, okay, so if the one vaccine only has a 75% chance of succeeding, and you simply create antibodies to deal with it, if you inject the other vaccine, um, what form they've put, the way they've made their vaccine, your body would then simply create the antibodies to deal with their version of it. So you'd be prepared for both versions the vaccine prepares you for. But my question is like, does that actually create maybe like a feedback problem where if you finally or catch corona, your body is like, oh, we have these two ways of dealing with it. We just don't know which one to send because they're both so similar. Or it does that not matter, and it's just like, uh, we're at double prepared to deal with you. So you don't go from being like 75, adding the 99% chance, to being 100 and 65% safe. You would just go from 75% safe to 99% safe.
Yeah.
It just overwrites the previous vaccine. And like, I've never heard of an instance where somebody takes two different kinds of the same vaccine, because previous vaccine work was just like, this is the one kind, it's standardized, so there's no discrepancies.
Yeah.
But because of corona, we had to like rush that shit out because the whole world closed.
Yeah, that is a good question. And I think hopefully when more information comes out, they actually tell us, because I feel like we're not getting a lot of information that we should right
No.
now. Like, I don't think that we're getting a lot of information that would help us ease us a little bit. Like, all we know is that we're not going to get vaccinated till August at the earliest. Like, okay.
Yeah.
But like, is there like, what are we going to do until then? Cuz
I just wish they keep easing restrictions and then their cases go up.
and then
Whereas like,
fuck, and then we do the
if they
stupid
just
lockdowns like the one that we've had since November, which doesn't even make any
exactly,
sense. Stay within your own household, okay, but then you still
I
have
live
schools.
alone.
But then you still have schools open, you have malls open, you have places that are in
Exactly.
enclosed areas where there could be hundreds of people at a time. But no, I can't hang out with anybody outside my household. No.
Yeah, if we see you hanging out with a friend that you might have actually just included in your circle, because you said people that live alone can have two people in their
Yeah.
friendship circle, so they don't get cabin fever and go on a murderous rampage and think about it every day and
Bruh,
night
I'm
before
getting
they
cabin
go to...
fever.
Sorry, I live alone. But because they keep opening and closing things again, they don't close the businesses, like you said, and they give a guideline.
Well, it's
But
frustrating because we as a community, as a community here, we are doing everything we can to help like ease the spread of this virus. And I mean, obviously we have our fucking, I'm going to say it, dumb
we've got
fucking
our
anti-maskers who can go shove it
yeah,
up their ass because they're fucking idiots.
we've got our
We have
anti-maskers,
some
yeah.
of those, but majority of us are actually trying our best to be safe. But the issue
Yeah.
is that the government isn't doing enough. The government,
No.
they're not going to shut down these places because the government isn't going to help them. They're not going to help them stay afloat. Why would they?
No.
Why do we?
The
Why?
government only
Ugh,
cares about the economy,
which is
and
so
not even
fucking
the
dumb.
economy. They care about their money,
Yeah.
because if we're being honest, the Canadian government has only ever cared about their bottom line. We're a country based on debt.
That's what I was saying, Queen. That's exactly what I was saying before, is that that's exactly what we should have done the moment our cases started to fucking skyrocket to the thousands, is we should have
Yeah.
shut down and have nobody enter in and nobody leave Canada. But nah.
Yep. Do you know what
it's
our
too
our
much
COVID
it's too big brain for our small country.
You know what our COVID relief money was? They gave families $1,000, and they gave single households 500, as if that even covers like a monthly rent.
And
Like,
guess
if you're not
what? Most
working,
people have
here's...
to pay it back now.
Oh yeah, no, you have to pay your taxes on it.
No, but like
Um,
people were
there,
getting like letters saying that they needed to pay back all of their emergency benefits even though they qualified.
What?
Yeah.
Also, hi, Stoic.
Hello.
We're just talking about things we hate. This is not a chill cast anymore.
You know, why don't we change? Why don't we change the mood?
We've been stuck inside, so we have nobody to vent to, and this was our opportunity.
It's frustrating. I'm over it. I can't
I'm
anymore.
not. I only just got my COVID money, and like I used it to buy groceries because like I'm hungry.
Yeah, that's dude. I just.
Do you want to know something funny? Actually, one quick more thing to add to that. So when I applied
Oh,
for
hi, Russ.
the CERB,
certain people do. So like there was some weird
apparently,
guideline thing that the government was just like, lol, JK, you got to pay us back. People are fighting back on it, obviously. I don't know all the information on it because, to be honest, like I said before, my little artist brain just cannot handle the stupidity that our country is just fucking doing right now. So,
all right. Before we swap to the good vibes conversation, I just want to tell you what happened when I applied for the curb, whatever they say it is. So I filled out the form, and then it was like, all right, we're gonna contact you in a few days to tell you the status of your stimulus thing. And I was like, cool. So I'm at work, and then I get an email, and you know how you have to give them, you had to have filed your taxes for 2019 to get it, right?
Yep.
So I gave them that info, and you know me, I'm a single guy. I've been single for most of my life. Never really lived with somebody long enough to be common law, and so obviously that's what I put on my tax return stuff. The email I got was, you stated for 2019 that your marital status was blank. Your wife filed in 2019 stating her marital status was blank. Due to this discrepancy, we will need you to clarify your marital status and show us proof of your separation. And I'm like, what?
Dude, I apparently owe like over $1,000 in MSP, and that was only because.
What? That's not, no. When Trudeau was elected, he got rid of MSP. You shouldn't owe anything.
No. So it was because back in like 2012, 2013, I couldn't submit my taxes because there was a fucking, like, I couldn't do it on site. It was just a mess. So ever since then, they have been charging me for MSP, which I never made enough in the first place. So because of that, I don't have access to any of my accounts. So, like, I literally can't log into anything, and trying to get a hold of these fucking people is ridiculous. Like, it is absolutely insane. So, you know what? Come take my shit. Do it.
Allie, I don't know how you got screwed over so badly, because they hit me with that too. They were charging me 2 tax brackets above my 0 income. So I was essentially paying $200 MSP every time.
What the
and
fuck?
I just stopped paying it because it's like, I'm fresh out of high school. I'm 18, and you're just charging me for this when, like, nobody talked to me about this. Why the hell should I have to pay this?
Yeah.
This wasn't taught to me in the personal planning class where they are supposed to teach you about taxes, but instead they tell you to not put your penis in women.
Or here's this fake baby that you need to stick a key in its back and feed it. But no, we're not going to tell you about taxes, about the fact that you in BC you had to pay separately for medical. We're not going to tell you any of that shit. So by the time that you're 25 years old and you get all these checks being like, yo, you owe the government this much, you're sweating and you don't know what the fuck to do. So then you shut down and you don't do it. That's me.
Like, I remember getting a letter from them saying, you owe this much on your MSP. We have contacted your employer and we'll start just taking it out of your paycheck. And I laughed because when I got that email, I had quit my last job about 2 weeks ago. I was like, you'll never find me. I move on too quickly from my job.
Yup. Well, the thing with the MSP thing, so Trudeau did get rid of it, but it's in our taxes now, so we don't need to pay it separately. So it gets taken out with our taxes. But if you didn't pay your MSP previously before this changeover, you still need to pay it before it ends up coming through your taxes.
I've never got a letter or notification in the last like 4 years that I've been filing my taxes saying I have to pay it off.
Yeah, we did have
In
the
fact,
fake baby thing.
I didn't get the fake baby thing when I did it actually.
I only
so
took that class because it was an easy A.
Oh, it was also required. You had to take it to graduate.
Was it?
Yeah, the
Oh.
personal planning class. I tried to skip it for like the year they wanted me to take it. I was like, I'll just do this in my last year when I have a free block anyway, and that way I can take something I want to take this year. And they kept putting me back in the class, and I'm like, no, I don't need this right now. I was like, sorry, you need this to graduate. It's like, yeah, but I'm graduating in 2 years. I can take this later.
I find it so funny that growing up in okay, so in BC we call it the Bible Belt of BC, the town where we're from. I find it
Is
so
that what it's called?
yeah. Are you
Ellie,
kidding?
I don't know how to tell you this. I've never heard that before. To me, it was called the crime capital of Canada.
I mean,
'cause
it
we
was
had
that
title
too.
for
It was
2
that
years.
too. It was that too. But like, so our city
Yeah.
was very, very religious. Like, we had a fucking church on every single street corner. Most of our schools were very religious based. Now, the school that we went to definitely wasn't. But I'm surprised that it did teach us some of those things, though, considering how conservative our city was. Even though growing up, I didn't realize of how conservative it was, which is kind of funny. But yeah,
I just figured like we had two kinds of people in our high school. You were either a slut or you were not.
Do you remember? Do you remember? So we had this wing at our high school, and it was called ISP, and it was for the people who kept skipping class, so they had to keep them in a one classroom setting, so they couldn't go from class to class to class because their attendance was shit or their grades were
what
shit.
it was? I thought
Yeah.
it was just because their grades were shit.
No, it was because your attendance is also bad. That can have an effect on you going there.
Okay.
So, but we used to call it, because it was ISP, we used to call it the I smoke pot class.
I mean, they were all
They all did. They were all in the smoke pit fucking smoking it up. But it was just, oh my god.
How do you
so
know
funny.
your school's a ghetto school when they have a place called the smoke pit?
Oh my god. Our school also had like I don't know if every school had this, but our school actually had like a deputy, like a cop that was consistently there all the time.
Yeah, I think a lot of schools just have that though. Like they're
Did
just.
they?
Yeah, I think a lot of schools in the U.S. also have just like a cop on duty as well. That's why you see these stories about like the cop just being an absolute asshole to kids.
So speaking
sometimes
to what Queen has said, with school didn't teach them taxes. I think the reason why schools don't teach you taxes, and this could be just big brain conspiracy theory nut, but it's because the government wants to milk you for whatever money they can. So if they don't teach you how to do things correctly, they're going to pocket a lot of that money because you won't know what you're doing wrong. For instance, when we submit taxes, there are ways that we can actually receive money back. Like, for instance, because of my job, technically my Bose headphones, I can put on my taxes as a job requirement thing and I can get that money back. But most people don't know that. So a lot of that money that people can save and get back on their taxes, they don't, because they don't teach us that in school. So the government just gets to stuff his pockets and buy himself a nice new fucking Lexus or you know?
Yeah.
Definitely
Like,
wish I lived sooner. Yeah, me too.
If we were making money off of our YouTube channel and our Twitch and stuff, we could literally write off the games we buy to play on the channel.
Dude, I could write off this chair. I could write off everything.
It would be so great if that was a thing.
It's just,
I know there's ways to like also write off your gas if you commute to and from work.
Yeah.
Specifically for work.
But yeah, I wish
there's ways around it, but like school is institutionalized to make you subservient. And like that's been a problem for
You wrote off
decades
shampoo and conditioner, sorry. That's amazing.
when I was YouTubing, I wrote off Shemp. Oh my god,
So smart.
brilliant.
Sorry,
I mean, fuck.
continue.
You can look, and I hate having to say his name, but Donald Trump wrote off a mansion he bought and got away with it until he had to release his tax information. Nobody came after him.
Yeah. But
That's like a
yeah.
prime example of like you could literally just write off anything if you have enough money to like just pay your bail afterwards.
Yeah.
Everything was a business expense.
Dude, I wish that I was smarter with it. I mean, I'm trying to get better at it. Like I will admit, like I need to go into somebody and be like, yo, I don't know how to access any of my old tax stuff. Can you access it for me and just do it all for me? Because there's years I've missed because of it. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Fix it for me and I'll pay you.
I mean, that'll cost you a lot of money. When I was like just out of high school, I went to H&R Block once to just have them do my taxes. So 19-year-old kid just working at a gas station. Hey, I need you guys to do my taxes for me. He's like, all right, that'll be $200. It's like,
see, I'm fine with
to
paying
fill out
that.
2 numbers.
I'm fine with paying that right now. Like I have TurboTax currently, but the issue is because I don't have my previous taxes that I missed for those couple years, which is helping with the MSP thing because they don't know, and I don't have access to any of that because I can't get a hold of anybody in order to unlock my account so I can have access to that, because apparently the government has everything there anyways, which I don't know why we do our taxes if they have it anyways. But I would need to pay somebody to fix my fuck up for me. Because, 19-year-old Allie didn't know what to do. 20-year-old Allie didn't know what to do. 22-year-old Allie didn't know what to do. Like, I had no idea how to do any of this shit.
How's 26-year-old Allie doing?
I still don't know what the fuck I'm doing. What do you think? I gotta pay somebody to do it?
Oh, not to mention our Service Canada accounts, like our RCAs and stuff. I get locked out of mine every.
But that's what I mean. That's what I mean, Russ, is I don't have access to my Service Canada account. The last time I tried to access in, because I need to pay my CERB back because the company that I worked for said, just kidding, we're going to send you all your work stuff. So I needed to pay that back. I went to go log in and they're like, lol, your birthday is wrong. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck? I know when I was born. You can remake it? What?
Really? So much knowledge here. So many things to learn.
My brain is floating.
I
Okay. Yeah, teach me everything, Russ. Oh, by the way, Steven, this is Russ. He's the guy who's gonna help who's gonna do the crew thing.
Ah,
yeah.
This is the fabled Russ.
Yeah.
I've sent a single message to the group chat. Okay.
Okay, well, let's chat about something that's not gonna make me want to fucking punch a wall.
Do it. Punch the wall. Commit to the bit, legit or quit. I believe.
I feel like my landlords wouldn't like that, so.
So like, I know I've already lost the damage deposit on my place, so I bought a fireplace and put it on my balcony. It's like, if I burn down my balcony, I've already lost the damage deposit. Doesn't matter. They can't charge me more, can they?
See, a lot of people like Among Us, but I can't play that game. I can't. There's just something about it that I just.
Bad at lying?
I can't.
Are you bad at lying?
No, it's just. Okay, so let me put it this way.
Yes, I'm listening.
Okay, maybe with certain people I can play it with. Like certain groups of people I probably can, but I equate it to like Mario Party. Fun fact, I cannot play Mario Party with anybody because that game ranks up my anxiety so much because it gets so competitive that I shut down. Like I don't have fun with the game. So that's what I kind of feel like about Among Us is like, again, if I'm with a certain group of people and we're having a blast, whatever, I feel like it's good. But if I'm in a group of people that I don't know or that I'm not comfortable with, I'm not going to have a good time.
So I accept that reasoning with Among Us because even if you're like on the good guy team, you don't know you're on a team because you don't know who's bad or who's good. My question for you is in Mario Party, if you're playing on team mode and let's say you've got like a bruh on your side.
A bruh.
A bruh. would that make it like easier for you,
No.
or would you still be super stressed?
I would be really stressed.
All right,
I really
we gotta
don't
fix
do
that for
well
you.
in. Okay, this is gonna sound kind of funny because I play comp in Overwatch all the time, but like, I,
Yeah.
I
Okay,
don't.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
I really don't do well with competitive based games. Okay, so for Overwatch, I feel like it's different because I'm not versing my friends. I'm versing people I don't know. So that's one thing. But in competitive based games where you have a party of friends and you're trying to, like, who's going to get to it first, I get really, really anxious about that because I don't like confrontation. And normally with things like that, depends on the group. But if I'm around people that I don't really know, I'm not comfortable with, I don't hang out with a lot, I start to get really bad anxiety because I'm just awaiting for the confrontation to happen and I don't want that to happen. So like it's my brain being like, nah.
I'll apologize ahead of time if we ever play a game because I do get
No,
competitive.
but this is what I mean though, is that it's different because I'm close with you and like we're good friends, whatever. Like I could play with FaZe and it would be the same. Me and FaZe play fucking Uno and like I scream at the guy.
I
But
still
like
never played Uno, so.
but like it's just shit like that. Like if I'm around people that I'm comfortable with and that I really like, it eases that tension off of me. So like if I'm playing with you or Russ or FaZe or like whoever else, it's fine. It's just it depends on the group setting and
Yeah.
whether or not what my mood is like, if that makes sense.
So, my thing is, I'll get like really angry or competitive when like something becomes super unfair. Like, so let's say the whole table will gang up against me if we're playing Mario Party, and like everyone is on their own team. Is like, oh no, Lord Nope's winning, so we're all gonna team up against him. It's like that's not fair, just because I'm doing good. But as soon as the game is done, all of the irritation is gone. It's like, oh yeah, no, I don't care. You guys can like just assault me anytime. It's fine.
See, but that's the thing though, is that in that moment, because I'm an anxious person, and because so another fun fact about me is like when I get panic attacks or anxiety attacks, most of the time it's body. It's not like my anxiety attacks are mind, but like my panic attacks are body. So like I don't panic in my mind. My body literally will get hot and cold sweats. I'll start to get blurry vision. I'll have hearing loss, and like that's end game for me. But
that's interesting.
I hate
my
it.
body panic attacks are like my arms and legs will like shake, and I won't be able to sit still. And I'll try my best to like focus on a wall or something. And if you were to like approach me and be like, "Hey man, you okay? You're shaking." I'll be like, "Yeah, totally fine, man. How's it going? 100% a-okay.
How's it going?
Wow, today is fantastic." Like over the top.
Yeah.
Trying to be like, "Stop looking."
Yeah. I mean exactly what Queen said. Like, I agree with you in that sense. Like, I am fine when it's around a super chill group of people, but again, it just depends on who I'm playing with. Like I think I'll be fine around like my close groups of friends. It's just certain games just really ramp it up. But maybe things have changed because Overwatch has made me a tilted bitch. So
I don't know. I think you're just too much of a gamer girl now.
Oh my god.
Fucking girl up in our grill right now.
Bruh, it almost felt like an insult when she called me an e-girl. Because I'm like, bitch, I'm an elder emo. Don't you dare.
Elder emo?
Don't you dare call me an e-girl.
I've just pictured you like the great Deku tree in Legend of Zelda. I was like, I am the elder emo. Enter my mouth and slay the demon within. And it's like that would be a song. That's something that an emo would have written.
But seriously though, like, you know what, e-girls, e-boys, just know where you came from. It was our generation that helped you be where you are.
Yeah.
Because to be fair, I got made fun of super fucking hard for the way that I looked. For my raccoon eyes, for my scene hair. Like, I got made fun of.
So, okay, I'm going to point this out there. I feel like I was born a generation early.
Oh, you're one of those. I was born in the wrong generation.
Well, everybody says, like, I was born in the wrong generation. I should have been born in the 70s or something. And, like, a generation they could have never experienced.
Yeah.
But we did experience the generation that's growing up now, and like I see all these people, I'm like, oh shit, that's the style I've always loved, but I had to deal with the girls that like pinned their bangs up on their forehead as if that was a nice style or something. And it's like everybody is attractive now, and everybody is willing to like just show other people how to be better about themselves. It's like, ah, fuck, we missed that. God damn it.
See, and like, so here's where I'm gonna put something in your mind for a second.
All right, I'm ready. I'm ready to cry.
I think it's all bullshit. And the reason why I say it is I think a lot of people are still like how we grew up, where I mean, we obviously did our best to hype each other up, but we also didn't have access to the internet like people do nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
But I really okay. Let me rephrase that. I know that there's probably a handful of people who really genuinely want the best for others and really, really want to help others be the best that they can be their hype girls, hype boys, whatever. Because you see a lot of it, and there's a lot of genuine people like that. But I think a lot of people are doing it for face. You know what I mean? And it's hard. And again, maybe I could be wrong. Maybe I'm just
Sorry, let me
old.
clarify. Are you basically saying a lot of them are posers?
In elder emo terms, yes.
You gotta
And
stick to your elder emo terms.
but the reason why is because especially with cancel culture being so big, you see a lot of the no, seriously though, like you see a lot
No,
of
I'm
these
laughing at
people.
something else. I'll
Oh,
just say this quick.
why
Queen, kitty fries, I see you. I understand.
why do I smell like burnt toast?
Continue with your hot take.
Okay, but anyways, I think a lot of people do it for face and a lot of people don't. They're doing it for the clout. I hate that word, but
Okay.
they're doing it for the
Okay.
clout. And it's just there's a lot of things that just don't feel genuine about it. And again, maybe I'm just bitter. Maybe I'm just a bitter old person who just can't see the good in the world. But
Okay. Okay.
thank you, Kitty Fries. It's okay. I would forgive you if you thought that I smelled like burnt toast,
Don't
though.
backpedal, kitty fries. Don't lie to the chat.
But like,
We know what you.
and again, like that's not a bad thing to say, because you know what? If people are going through TikTok and they're seeing these things and they're feeling good about themselves, then that's worth
Mhm.
it in itself. But you also need to take it with a grain of salt. Like how much of these people are authentic in what they're saying? Because you know what? I will be a hype girl for all of my friends. For a stranger, maybe. But like it depends on the context, right? Like I,
Uh-huh.
I'm
Uh-huh.
going on a different tangent here, but I really I don't think that a lot of people are genuine about it. I think it's just a save face. I
Okay.
really, really do.
So what is the emo status to you then? Is it just about hyping each other up? Because to me,
Fucking no.
it was to me the emo look and the emo lifestyle was literally just the look and lifestyle. It was feeling slightly like an outcast. It was basically the goth um of the 80s and 70s, but toned down. And now there is still goth and stuff, but now the e-girl aesthetic, or they call it alt, now is the term for it.
So,
Which it's basically the same as what the emo look was. They don't do the big scene hair, which I always hated, to be honest. I hate big hair where you look like you have four foreheads underneath your bangs. Um,
you wouldn't like the millionaires then.
no, no. But I when you said like they're just emos, I was gonna make a comment of like, well, every generation has their version of that. But then I was gonna take that back because like you're right, they did just take the emo look and rename it, whereas we took the goth look and we toned it down a little bit, made it a little more preppy, but also kept the punk look to it.
I think so. All all aesthetics have an umbrella term. I mean, you look at
Mm.
the kawaii aesthetic. You have so many different types of kawaii looks,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But then when you take a look at goth, goth has a lot of sub, like you mean you have cyber goth, like that's part of the golf goth culture,
Yeah.
right? So you have all these different umbrella terms. I think with emo and Seeing Kids, it was kind of a mix of poppy
I see you, Queen.
kawaii looks with the goth punk aesthetic. And again,
Yeah.
like I'm not saying that our generation created emo or that we created all these things,
Yeah.
but we definitely had, I feel like, a harder time as a generation expressing ourselves, which I'm really happy that Gen Z can express themselves so much better and they're
Yeah.
able
Yeah.
to express themselves a lot easier. But I think also understanding where those roots came from is also important. And maybe this is sounding a little too gatekeepy, but I mean it really is, because I mean, growing up, I
Tread
mean,
lightly.
like I said, I had the fucking raccoon eyes. I listened to Hollywood Undead. I listened to fucking bitchy screaming kids. Like I like it wasn't something that was well received during our generation. Like we had obviously a small core group of people who found that attractive, but it definitely wasn't
It
something that you
wasn't the
could freely
mainstream that it is
express.
now. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And again,
And if you even like tried the style in our hyper religious town, it
but
was just frowned
that's
upon by
exactly
any
it though
adult.
too, is I think that we were also quite sheltered because
Yeah.
we lived in a
Okay.
very conservative city, that it wasn't a very popular look. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Just e-boys, e-girls, remember where you came from. Respect the emo elders, respect the emo Seeing Kids. Just respect us.
Uh,
Stop calling us old. Just respect us.
Hearing you say that just makes me want to like throw up. You need to respect your elder emos.
Dude, if they're gonna call me old, they better fucking respect where their style came from. Just saying.
The ones that call you old we'll just make fun of, absolutely, because the ones that are calling you old are the ones that ate Tide Pods.
Dude, did you hear that Gen Z hates skinny jeans? Like that
Okay,
was
so I
that was
saw
an
that video.
emo aesthetic.
I'm gonna clear up a misconception because I saw that video on TikTok too. It showed it to everyone, and the woman was like, "I'm not gonna listen to the generation
It's
that
the
ate
eight
Tide
Tide
Pods."
Pods, yeah.
So I watched the original video, and the girl was saying, "Is like, what's the deal with skinny jeans?" And her next line that got cut off by the reaction was, "These things are great. Why isn't anybody wearing these anymore?" So she was giving them props.
Oh.
So like, you
Dude,
gotta
I love
like
skinny jeans.
look into your sources first.
There needs to be a respect and avoidance of appropriation, but I think that needs, yeah. And I agree with you, Russ. I agree. I know, maybe I'm just a little bitter. That's all. just a little bitter.
Just a little bitter that you didn't get to. That's what I mean by like we're a generation early, and we should have been born for this one. Because at least by the time COVID's over, we'd still have our 20s to like really enjoy.
Dude, I know.
Like 2 years of my life, and we were almost done with our 20s. It's like, this isn't fair.
Being a
We don't
millennial feels so weird though, because like and I mean, especially millennials between like late 80s and like early 90s, right?
We're closer to like the Zennial, like the X millennial.
But like it's just weird, like the time that we grew up in, because we grew up in a time when cell phones weren't very prominent and neither was the internet until a little bit later, like early-ish
Yeah.
2000. So like we were literally growing with the technology that Gen Z now has been growing up with. Like I feel so weird. I just feel like I'm stuck in like a
do
limbo.
feel like I feel like we get to appreciate the like progression of technology more, because we weren't born with a tablet in our hands, obviously. And like there was a few years where online you would see a lot of like really privileged little kids getting upset because they didn't get their iPhone 6. Do you remember that time,
Oh
right?
yeah. Yeah.
And like those were the video sourcing. But at the same time, I feel it's because of those videos and other people seeing how poorly these people reacted and how everybody kind of like just kind of came down on them like that's a horrible way to view the world, is why we have a bit more of a supportive culture nowadays.
Yeah.
Is like the generation after us has been raised by the internet, and they have seen all this cancel culture and like this is a horrible way to take this approach, and so they see that and they're like, well, I don't want these millions of people to come and cancel me, so this is probably how I should act in society. So it's like a double-edged sword. We have oversensitive people, but we also have more humble people.
There just needs to be an equal balance. Because I'm telling you right now, if you go through my Facebook back when I was in high school, I could easily be canceled. Like, I'm sure of it. I am sure of it. Like, obviously, I would never say the shit that I said when I was 15.
Were you going like, West Side Brothers? I can't do the W with my finger. Fuck.
No, it was more of like... Okay, I think it's okay that I say her name, even though we're not friends anymore. But Natasha,
I know who it is. Yeah, okay,
yeah, we used to be best friends, and like, we had this inside joke, and I'm telling you right now, it wouldn't be an inside joke that people would find funny. They would probably find it quite offensive, and I mean, even now, I'm like, yikes, why the fuck did I say that? But again, it was a different time. Not that it makes it okay, but as long as you learn from your mistakes and you move on from that, you know, I think is the most important thing. You're educated and you move on. But I think that's another part that makes me feel so weird that we're millennials, is that our humor was also very, 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 very different than what it is now. Like, I mean, I don't know if you used to watch Shane Dawson, but he's not even, there's a whole fucking mess with him right now. But like, his jokes, I used to find them so funny back in, like, me and Rayleigh would always watch that shit. We would find him so funny. And like, now when you look back at his old videos, you're like, oh my fucking God, like, that's, yikes.
So I never found Shane Dawson to be an enjoyable character.
You know what? Don't take this the wrong way, but like, that surprises me. That surprises me.
Why? Explain. I'm not taking it the wrong way. I'm just curious.
Because you're so like, I don't know the word. Like, I mean, you're not hyper.
I was really expecting you to be like, you're just such a bitch. I just thought you're
such a fucking loser. But like, you're eccentric. Like, you're very like, you're different. You're funny. You're very like out there, and like, I just like, that was always how he came off to me. It was just very like, I can't.
Well, there's your answer, Alicia. I hate myself, so I'm gonna hate people like me.
But like, you know, but do you get what I'm saying though? Like, but that's why I find it. I think that it's fine that there we go. Face has the good words. So does Russ.
I like the term eccentric.
See, but that's how I would describe you, as eccentric, right? And like, I always found that Shane Dawson was kind of the same way, especially earlier on in YouTube, right? So that's why I find it really interesting that you never really liked his stuff.
So like, you can be eccentric, but then you can make jokes about having sex with your cat.
Okay, but I am talking before he made that very, very inappropriate joke. I'm talking about like let's get some shoes era. You know what I mean? Like, I'm talking like we're in fucking like middle school era.
Okay, so on that topic, I only enjoy that video because of the nostalgia of it. I never found it funny. So the thing for me is, like, I come off as liking probably the kind of guy that likes watching stupid videos and people just like zooming into the camera going tits, and that would be fucking hilarious. But if somebody sent me a video of that, I'd be like, why are you showing me this? This isn't funny.
That's funny.
I really appreciate witty humor. Like, if you come up to me with I'll use our first podcast as an example. If you're like, we're called the Bruhcast, like a broadcast, I'd be like, I like that. That's smart.
I didn't even think of that. I just was like, bruh. I say that a lot. I'm a bruh person.
Exactly. So like that's the joke, but like if you point out the smart part of it as a joke, I'm like, oh my god, that's hilarious. I like smart humor.
You're the brains to that. I'm not.
And so like when you come up to me with the kind of joke where like you break the expectation, which is a lot of like stand-up comedy. That's why I really enjoy stand-up.
Yeah.
Anti-jokes, I was really into those for a little while because I found them hilarious. For example, so the joke that you have the basic buildup of a man walks into a bar. So you've heard that one 100 times, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, the man walks into a bar and orders a drink. His crippling alcohol addiction is tearing his family apart. And that was the joke. And I was like, it's funny because it's probably true. It's dark. It's not an actual joke, but
That's
because
funny.
you're expecting a joke and then they take it away, it's like that's actually kind of funny. Or like, it's like a owl and a squirrel are sitting on a tree branch. What does the squirrel say to the owl, Alicia? What does the squirrel say to the owl?
I don't know.
Nothing, for it is a squirrel and cannot speak. The owl then eats the squirrel because it is a bird of prey.
I was literally just gonna be like nothing because the squirrel can't talk to the owl.
And that's the joke. But you're expecting a punchline, and then they hit you with that, and then it gets dark, and you're like, okay, it's funny because it's dark.
Wait, Russ, you had to work with Shane Dawson?
Wait, I missed that message. I gotta read it. What?
Really?
I had to work with him briefly. Fuck that guy. Oof. Well, not to mention like his recent scandal of like literally trying to throw a business under the bus with his docu-series.
Okay, well,
just so he can make money with that.
I hate to say it, I did buy the conspiracy palette, and
was it good?
So, dude, it's really good. That's
I'm not gonna fault you if they have a good product.
They do.
Fine.
I will say Jeffree Star does make really good cosmetics, and I will say Shane Dawson's palette has the coolest fucking colors ever. And I bought it because I used to be, like I said, I used to be a really big fan of Shane Dawson, and I stuck by him through a lot of shit. I was like, you know what? His jokes were always dark humor. They were dark humor jokes when I was growing up. That's just his humor. But then, you know, more stuff came out and he kind of had a little meltdown. And Trisha Paytas, now I know a lot of people don't like Trisha Paytas, and I don't know if you know of her. But
well, she's who they like kind of threw under the bus, right?
So she had an issue with Jeffree Star. So I guess Jeffree Star pretty much like fat shamed her in front of her face and was making her feel poor against everybody else. They were pretty much bullying her.
It was high school drama.
It was gross fucking shit. And then Jeffree Star's fucking hairdresser went on live and started swearing and like threatening Trisha Paytas, which is disgusting. And so Trisha obviously had told Shane and Rylan that, you know, like this happened, like, and it's traumatizing. It hurt me. It wasn't funny. And they just fucking sat by. They just sit on by because, you know, nobody, honestly, I think Jeffree is a powerhouse is what it is. People are scared of him. And I don't blame Shane and Rylan for being scared of him, but I think Shane is too much shit going on around him that like nothing he said, like nothing's gonna make him look good. Even if he defended Trisha, I don't think it would make him look good. But I have so much respect.
And the way I've seen, what I take away from like Shane's handling is Shane is only going to look out for himself.
Oh, 100%. He's very, I honestly, again, coming from an old fan's perspective.
Coming from the elder emo.
The elder emo. I think he's a very selfish person. And you know what? And that's not necessarily a bad thing. But like, I really don't think he's in it for other people. And that really...
Being a selfish person inherently is not a bad thing.
Well, I mean, you know, like I don't blame anybody for being selfish depending on, you know, the type of reasons. Like
yeah, the situation. Being inherently selfish is bad, but being selfish because let's say you have to consider your mental health and you got to drop someone, it's like, all right, that could be seen as selfish.
Yeah.
But you're doing it for a good reason.
Okay. Yeah. No, I get what you're saying, and that makes sense.
Okay.
And like, it sucks because like as much as people shit on Trisha Paytas, she's actually very smart. Like, she's actually very well spoken, and I've been watching her podcast with Ethan from H3H3, and I can't stop watching them now. And like, I
Yeah.
feel so bad for her, and especially because she's pulled a lot of shitty stunts on the internet, like a lot of shit that people are like, dude, fucking again. But like, yeah, that whole situation is just really scummy. I think honestly, just YouTube influencers in general, I
mean, YouTube simply created a system that breeds that kind of stuff. They
oh
say
yeah,
they've like implemented features for anti-bullying, but they don't care because they know that's
I don't
what's
give a
going to get their
shit.
views
Whoever's
back to the
making the money
program.
is who they care about.
That's exactly it. And like, I think TikTok is a great competitor to like move away from YouTube, just because when YouTube changed the algorithm to be long format videos, they alienated a lot of just independent people who like making silly small videos, and then TikTok came back as like the combination of Vine and Tumblr combined from the ashes to create something beautiful.
Yeah,
And that's really it. I feel TikTok has the potential to be the YouTube competitor where people who are creative can actually move to, and YouTube is like a business outlet now.
I think the issue with TikTok that people are running into though is they're taking down creators that shouldn't be taken down either. So like, it's also a
They
mixed
do have no like proper
filters.
recovery options
Like,
for
there's
like people who
nothing.
are.
And I think TikTok needs to be more regulated with the content that's being posted on there too. But that's a whole nother thing. I can actually. Oh, when did it start with YouTubers, Russ? I would like to know. I haven't been.
Are you going to cite the Logan Paul Japan dead body video?
Ugh,
Or are you going
that
to
fucking guy,
cite
bro.
or Logan? Uh, yeah, Logan Paul has actually gotten better in recent years.
No,
He's
it's
still
Onision. Onision fucked the platform.
that was the next thing I was gonna say. So I dated a girl who one of the worst decisions I've ever made in my life. She was a big Onision fan,
Ooh.
and we she broke up with me shortly before Trump was elected, and she's a Trump supporter and
Bruh,
anti-vaxxer now. I find out,
you dodged a
and
bullet.
oh yeah, no, I definitely dodged a bullet. She wanted a kid, and this was like fresh out of high school. So
Do I know this person?
no, you never met her, and you
Okay.
should be happy for that. She's moved back to Germany, so I never have to deal with her again. Thank God.
What happened at second VidCon?
The
I don't.
second VidCon. Okay, tell us. Tell us. I've never been to VidCon to begin with.
Cause
Not
all
to
that.
mention, like,
You
go on.
go. No, you go.
I was just gonna say, like, I'm really worried that conventions are basically gonna be dead after the coronavirus is dealt with,
I don't think
and
so.
VidCon had already kind of died before that.
VidCon was like in the dumps with like the whole. It was, yeah. I don't think VidCon's gonna be a good thing anymore,
Uh,
especially after like Tana Mojo, whatever the fuck her name is, and she tried to do
oh, she
TanaCon
tried
and
to make, but
oh
that
my,
was a whole scam that Shane was also involved with.
yeah.
Not to point any extra fingers or
Yeah,
anything.
there's been multiple instances on TikTok with highly disturbing videos. Yeah. No, and I also think that TikTok is also it's a very scary place for kids, in my
Yeah, young
opinion.
people. I've come across so many videos just on my For You page where it's like, hey, TikTok, I'm on the creepy old guy side of TikTok right now, and I could use people like in my demographic again, so please interact with this video. And I'm like, oh, I feel so sorry for you. I want to like this to give you good vibes, but I'm heading into that old person category, so I will just ignore your video to keep
Yeah.
you away from it. Good luck. Have a
GG's.
nice life. I can't help you. I'm sorry. And
GG's. Yeah. Oh man. I don't.
not to mention, like, TikTok has also just become a place for girls to promote their OnlyFans as well. I get so many of those videos, and I can't help but finish the video. So I just keep seeing
Yeah,
more.
just keep watching. It was how they
I'm like,
promoted it,
what's up?
building up to it, and the management company treated everybody. Yeah,
Oh.
I could see that. Just inflating egos.
Yeah, if they've got a big name, they're just gonna basically treat them like they've got a lot of money because that's how they're gonna bring creators in.
Yeah, I think honestly, like as an artist who's trying to grow her own art on all these different sites, I find that like it's just there's no right place for it. Algorithms are fucked everywhere. Instagram's just
Mm-hmm.
purely fucked. Like my views and like likes have gone down so much over the last 6 months. It's crazy. And I
I
tried
mean,
doing it on TikTok, and like TikTok is so up and down. One video I'll get 600 views, the next I'll get 20. And it's like there's no
art TikTok.
consistency.
Yeah,
Huh?
the art TikTok is a really like niche community because they just don't post or they don't share a lot of the art TikToks to people's for you pages, which is really upsetting. So if you're just putting up your art, you're not going to get perpetuated through their system. But if you go on in basically e-girls moved and kind of took over that part of TikTok because all they have to put on is a cosplay, which cosplay is great. I love seeing cosplay TikToks, but they could also just put on skimpy clothes and they're going to get pushed ahead of anything kind of creative.
That's the other thing that I'm really bitter about, to segue a little bit, is cosplay.
Yeah.
Is like
Oh,
growing up
go
as
on.
somebody who liked a lot of nerdy things, video games, comic books, that kind of
And,
stuff.
and it's just
Especially
frowned
being a
upon.
girl, it was not a safe space. It really wasn't. And then trying to get
Mm-hmm.
into the cosplay community, like it wasn't a homey feeling. And now, like, and again, I'm so happy that the newer generation can express themselves and not be ridiculed for it, but like a part of me is just a little bit bitter because I wish that I had that, you know what I mean? Like I wish that like
Mm-hmm.
I would pop off in a cosplay and everybody like, "Oh, that's so cool," instead of my manager at West 49 being like, "Haha, we used to throw people like you in the trash cans. We go down there and drink beers and just laugh at everybody." Ha ha ha
Oh
ha.
my
And it's
goodness.
like, dude, it was bad. He said that on the floor too while I was working, and I was like, "Dude, that's not fucking professional. Like what? Excuse me?" And then I quit after that, so
People stuck.
JJ.
I think I went to I like walked into your work when you were working, and not when this happened, obviously, but like when you were West 49 still in the mall. I think I remember those days.
I so when West 49 was in the city that we were in, we had to shut it down because the store was closing down. And then
Yeah.
I transferred to the Langley location.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started working at EB Games after that. And then I quit EB Games. Cause fuck
I
that
hey
place.
hey we're EB Game Bros because I did EB Games also.
Dude, I hate that place. I hate it so
Eh,
much.
I did it seasonally, and I also wasn't a girl working at the video game store,
Oh,
so I
that
didn't have
didn't
your
bug me.
problem.
That was I got stories of that. That shit was nuts. It's just the company I don't like. I don't like the values
Okay.
of the company, and I just didn't
Uh,
like working
Wait
for
till I
them.
tell you about the GameStop situation.
Oh my god.
Uh, Queen says Vine and TikTok are really only great for one reason. It's not people doing weird dances. It was because it was a platform for short form, easily digestible comedy. Yeah, so like Vine.
I love
Um,
Vine. When life gives you lemons.
it made people more creative with how they did things. Thomas Sanders comes to mind. He's on TikTok now as well. So that was good. I know ProZD got his breakout on Vine. I know he was like he's a voice actor before that, and that's his career. But like that's what people originally know him from, and then he moved to YouTube just to upload his stuff. Because when Vine, I can't remember who bought and killed Vine. I think it was Facebook.
I'm pretty sure it was Facebook.
The same way Facebook bought Instagram, and now they're killing
Killing
Instagram.
Instagram.
Uh, Facebook also owns WhatsApp, and they basically changed their policies so
Yep.
that they steal all of your information
Yep.
on WhatsApp. If
Yep.
you
Yep.
have, they get to steal your phone's contacts. So if you've never put your phone number in a website because you don't want that spam and stuff, if your friend has WhatsApp and they have your phone number, sorry, your number is now in spam websites because Facebook just gets that info.
Yep. I miss Vine.
So you're on TikTok now. It's fine.
It's different though. Vine was
I
just a
know.
whole
I know.
different feeling. Like two
I never
guys
had Vine.
sitting in a
So
hot
like,
tub 5 feet apart because they're not gay. I fucking love that shit. I love Vine, dude. Vine was.
See, I think that's one of the things is I'm getting a lot of those kinds of videos still on my TikTok, so I'm still getting that experience.
Oh, I am too. I am too. I think
But I
just
guess,
Vine has a different feel to it though. You know what I mean? Like just like
mhm.
Vine is just the holy grail of short form comedy.
And they appreciated it there too.
Dude, I love Vine so much.
Well, start making Vine-centric videos.
I'm not
Put up with
funny.
your art.
That's the difference.
What are you talking about?
I'm not
You don't
funny.
have to be funny. The people that find you funny are gonna find you, girl.
But I'm not. Like
Also, drink 3 cups of coffee before making a video. That's how I started my YouTube.
Dude, I can't do that. My heart will stop, bro.
Oh, it got to the part where I only felt anxiety, and I've had to spend a year like getting over that, and that's why I haven't. That's part of why I haven't uploaded a video in forever, is like being stuck inside and having no outlet for my anxiety, because I was just going out, doing things, living my life, and then editing videos until 3 a.m. I was basically overworking myself so I didn't have to think about my stress.
Yeah.
But now that I can't just overwork myself because I'm stuck inside, the stress has just like made me hit a brick wall. And so I would just sit down and do nothing. And I did that for like 3 months. And then I slowly got over it. So amidst a month.
Soon you will have some nice stuff.
Oh, absolutely. I've got like 20 videos ready to be uploaded, and I want to get another 20 edited and just ready for upload, because I want to do a month where daily videos for a month just to see how YouTube treats me, and then go back down to manageable 3 videos a week. But I'm coming back!
Yay!
And then more streams, more other things, and it's going to be great. And now I'm making TikToks because I'm like, short form content. I've got an idea, I film it, I put it up. Fantastic.
See, but you've always been good at that quick-witted stuff though. Like I don't have that. So I just upload art speed paints now.
To be honest, I've always felt that I was actually pretty slow-witted. Like I've always if I can come up with an idea quickly and a stupid story and then act it out, and that's great. But to me, that's not quick wit. That's just writing practice, because I used to do a lot of writing. Quick wit is, for me, being able to come up with a witty comeback if somebody insults you. But I have to think about that for like 4 hours, and then like 4 hours later, it's like, you have a fat butt. Ha! Showed. No, he's gone. Okay.
Yeah. Heat of the
So,
moment
like,
stuff I can't do.
And so that's something that I wish I was quick-witted about. Before I had to like work a full-time job, I went to like 2 Ren fairs. You know, those old school Renaissance festivals.
I want to go to a Ren fair.
Girl, after COVID, absolutely. I'll take you with me. I'll enter sword fighting shit, and you can be.
You mean LARPing? We can LARP.
From my knowledge, LARP is no contact. I kidney punch people with my shield, so
I'm full contact. Yeah, I'll do that.
I kick the shit out of guys for fun.
The only thing
do it to me too. So
the only thing that I would do is I would just create my D&D character.
Do it, absolutely, 100%. But what was the topic I was gonna say about the Ren Fair? Oh, right, I remember now. So there was a dude at one of these Ren fairs that I would accurately describe as quick-witted. You could pay him to go and insult people, and he had like a little book of comebacks prepared.
That's so funny.
If he found somebody that could spit as much poison as him, they would just have basically the equivalent of a Renaissance rap battle where they're just insulting each other back and forth with these really witty insults of like I can't even come up with an example of a witty insult to compare. So when I give you this example, it's gonna be garbage. So it's like, I've got more strength in my pinky than you have in your entire body, and they would respond with like, what a shame, none of it's in your arm, because like you'd be arm wrestling or something.
That's funny.
And like, all right, that's a quick-witted response. You just caught that on the spot. You called them out, and that's smart. And I can't do that. Sometimes I can, and like in those moments, I'm like, I'm a fucking god.
I'm a genius. That's funny.
But that's what I consider quick-witted. Eminem, I would say, would be quick-witted, or Childish Gambino.
Oh,
people that can just like start like
love
talk.
me some Childish Gambino.
Right? I call those people quick-witted because like they can just start like freestyling on the spot, linking things together and like having deep meaning behind it, and they just can go. But I wouldn't be able to do that, and it's like that's a skill that I want.
You'll get there someday. I believe it.
Someday, once I leave my full-time job, I can actually practice quick-wittedness.
Did you hear that Gen Z is trying to cancel Eminem?
I did hear that. What they fail to understand is that's how Eminem created his, business cult cycle. Was people would hate on him and he'd write a song about it and then make millions. So all they're doing is fueling him. That's how he works. It's great.
I think it's so funny. Oh, Russ, I am excited. I haven't played in a hot minute, and I have a pair of dice that I'm waiting for right now, and currently.
Am I invited? I've got a pair. I've got a set of dice I bought the other day.
You are.
It's pink, so I'm excited to use it.
Well, I'm waiting on a set right now.
I've been formally accepted. Thank you, Russ.
I have these two.
Queen says, with Trevor's whole febituary thing, it made me think of Vine. I wouldn't be surprised if he would totally thrive on a platform like that. Oh, if Trevor doesn't have TikTok yet, he's definitely should. You can do only so much with editing, so it ruins the perfectionist within you, because you just kind of put it out right away. So that's actually the thing about TikTok that I do enjoy, is you can just edit the videos on your computer. You can film with your phone and get it out of the way. And TikTok's in studio editors failing is that you only have the time frame you can record with, and you can't record after you've clipped the videos shorter to where you need them to be. But you can film everything you need to. I see your smug smile, Allie. I saw you showing off your dice. You're so proud.
I know, and then we're gonna talk about Worlds later. I'm so excited.
But with TikTok, so you can film the stuff with your phone, and then you can edit it on your computer, re-download it to your phone, and upload it that way, which I really appreciate. So if they just like updated their in-house editing software on TikTok a bit better, I think it would work like 100 times better than it already is.
Editing on TikTok. Like
my
like store packaging ones literally would take me fucking 5 hours to try and figure out and edit. Maybe I'm just too old.
No,
but like I don't get it.
You basically have to, let's put this in animated terms, you have to storyboard your entire video before you start filming it. Because you can't just leave the camera running and then cut out the part you want and then film more.
But even with that,
film it all in one go.
Trying to add stuff in and trying to cut the snippets to the point where like you actually wanted to use that part and like it's just, oh my god, it's so
okay. It's a
difficult.
Little finicky, but I will say, I guess you are just old, because that's not a problem for me.
Yeah, no, it drives me absolutely nuts. It takes me way too long.
Hey, now you have the editing software that I use. As glitchy as it'll be, it's better than what you have to pay for, so you'll get that skill in there.
Yeah, I'm an animator. I'm not an editor.
Did I ever tell you I tried to like self-teach myself animation? I got Autodesk Maya.
Oh, I hate Maya.
It was the only program I knew about really at the time, and I thought, but I never knew how to do the 3D modeling. Like I never got past that point. But I felt like the only way I was going to learn is if I had like 4 to 12 hours a day to put into learning it.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have to work, you don't get that. And you basically, it's the age old question. Um, you can choose between work and social life, or work and personal life, but you can't have all three.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, well, I'll choose friends because they'll make memories. I don't want to waste my 20s learning something that I might not even be able to use.
Well, and that's why I went to animation school. I knew a lot of
Yeah.
people were like, just teach yourself animation at home. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I would be so tired after work. I'm also like,
Yeah.
for me personally, like, I can be a motivated person, but when it comes to learning things, I have a very, very hard time
Mm,
to motivate myself, especially because I don't have to now because I'm not in school. So if my whole
okay.
thing was, if I'm paying someone to teach me how to animate, I'm gonna learn because I paid for
That
it.
that's fair. With me making my YouTube videos, it took turning it into a habit
Hmm.
to motivate me. Um, so I did that, but then it's like you work like 10 hours a day, and then you get home and you just want to sit down. When I'm not working, and let's say I've had a couple days to like recover, so when we have a 3-day weekend because of a holiday, by the third day I feel like I finally recovered from the monotony of the work week,
Hmm.
and I'll my body will wake me up at a normal time, and I'll just kind of like sit in bed for a bit, for like an extra half hour, and then I'll get up, and I'll have so much energy. I get so much done in my personal life, and it's like, oh wow, just because I didn't have to go to work, I was able to literally progress 20% in my personal life more than I do throughout the week. When I get home, it's like, all right, well, I've got 2 hours before I should go to bed because I have to wake up early. Let's make a video. Okay, here's a silly edit. People will laugh at that. But when I've had time to rest and then I get to it, so basically, kids, sleep is important. uh, I'll be like, all right, I'll put this animation here. Oh, sweet. I know what funny meme would go great in this part of the video. Oh, what was that song called in that other video that I saw? I'll put that in there. And then I'll spend like 2 hours key rigging the animation to work with the music. And it's amazing. And like some of my best videos are where I've just literally had a full night's sleep, but also just time to like be in my own head without having to think about like work and worry about walking on eggshells, because the guy I work with can be very anal, I'll just say, about inconvenient things.
I think also, adding to that note, like, work on things when you can, but like don't push yourself too hard because I find especially nowadays the hustle culture is really really strong and it's very very dangerous. Like it's not something that
Yeah,
you should be doing. And I mean, you see a lot of that like at the animation school I went to because it was only a year program. A lot of people were like, you're going to have long nights and you're going to do this and you're going to do that. Like, and it was almost like pressured into you to like work all the time. And
yeah,
like, it destroys your mental health. And by the time you come out of it, like, the work that you created could have been so much better if you just take a fucking breather. It's like
yeah.
people in my industry, they come into work sick. And I'm like, why would you do that? Why would you come into work when you're not at your best? Because now your work isn't going to be your best. You're going to spend 10 times longer fixing it and trying to work with it when you could literally just go home, have a day's rest, and be refreshed and be back to your normal pace.
Not to mention with this is more prominent in like your industry and stuff, is once you've like handed in your job, your assignment, that's it. That is what you've put into the world, and you'll look back 10 years at the work you did and say, wow, I did really shitty that day, and I can't go and make that better.
Yeah, it's true. But one scene, once you get multiple scenes, they just all look the same. I'm not gonna lie. They all look the same.
Okay.
Dude, yeah. It's It's hustle culture, and I hate it. The one thing that I don't like about the industry that I'm in, which is the animation industry, is the pressure to overwork yourself. It's like this underlying like rule to like work overtime for free. Just work, 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 work. You're creating cartoons. You're creating something for somebody. Like, be grateful, be happy, be blah, blah, blah. And, like, I hate it. Just because we're making cartoons doesn't mean that, like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, it's just, dude, don't even get me started on fucking pay. Like, I moved into production because as much as I loved animating, I fucking hated being treated as an animator. I hated it. And cap in Canada for animation is $30 an hour. That's cap. That's what you can make. To be fair, I'm a 2D animator.
Max you can make?
That is the maximum. I hit cap a year and a half after I was working in Vancouver. Yes. Seriously.
The fact that there's a cap on it is what's outrageous.
But that's the thing is that
$30 an hour is a fairly decent wage if you're not a gig worker. If that's like a regular full-time job and you can feel confident that's going to continue. Animation I know is gig, so it's like once your contract is over, you don't have that what's the word? Safety net or whatever.
Dude, and that's the other thing that I hate about this industry.
Absolute shit.
Is that you consistently have to look for new jobs every 6 months. It's so tiring. And like, especially in a city like Vancouver, we're so expensive. It's so expensive to live out here. So when you put a cap of something like that on an industry that's based in the city, all of your studios are in the city, you need to be able to move that wage up for people to live in that city in order to work for your studio.
All right, Allie, here's what we're going to do. We're going to get rich. We're going to get famous. We're going to create our own studio, and we're going to destroy the system.
Dude, I don't know if I
want... We're just going to be in charge. You don't have to do anything after that point. We just sign the checks.
I want change for this industry so bad. And, like, I'm so scared to say that. Like, I'm genuinely scared to say that, like, out loud on a stream. But, like, I want...
Because you feel like they're going to come after you for inciting riots.
I already think I've blacklisted from a company. Like,
oh, shit.
Yeah. But, like...
Girl, punch him in the throat. Let's go full on then.
But, like, it's just... I think what I don't understand is, so, like, animation is viewed as, like, this holy grail. It's such a great job to work in. You're making cartoons for kids. You're drawing every day. You're doing what? It's such a cool job, you guys. But we're going to make you work overtime. We're going to pay you minimum. And we're also not going to protect you. Like, you don't have any protection. We don't have any unions up here in Canada for it. And a lot of people are against the union. That is... I don't think I can personally get into it because of my current job, but that's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
And like, it's just, it sucks because at the end of the day, we're making cartoons. We're making entertainment, but it shouldn't be the end all be all, and people shouldn't lose their personal lives over it.
Yeah.
You really have to be passionate about animation to really deal with the current problems. Dude, yeah. And you have to, honestly, I hate to say it, you have to be really fucking blind to it. You have to be blind to what's happening in this industry in order to push through. Because if you're not, you're just going to get bitter, and it's not going to look good on you. Seriously, I left to go into production because animation was just so draining for me. I didn't have the creativity to create my own artwork. I wasn't doing better as an artist. I wasn't improving myself because I was always so tired after work. And again, there are a lot of people who love it and who can do that every day and are really passionate about it, but just I'm very bitter about this industry, even though I'm only, I think, 4 years in.
Passion. It's just sour now.
Well, and you know what? And that's fine. Other people have had amazing experiences in this industry.
Yeah.
I have not, which you know. You know that I have not had a great experience in this industry. Now that I'm with a company that I really respect, that I really like. I'm working with amazing people. I feel very
Mm.
supported, and I feel like I'm been taken seriously as a person and as a worker, that I'm happy where I am right now. But that's not to
Mm.
say that everybody else is, right? And I think there needs to be a louder talk about what's going on in this industry. And again, I'm making it sound more dramatic than it probably is, but like it isn't. If you can answer this, but what do you do in production? So, I'm a production coordinator. So, I help run the show. So, we get a show in and we have a production manager who's kind of like the director of the pipeline. So you have the animation director and then you have the director of the pipeline, making sure that everything's going smoothly, that we're getting all of our assets in, that we're making sure that everybody's getting things done on time, that we're getting our deliveries out, that we're receiving our deliveries, this, and that. And I'm pretty much like, I like to call myself the bitch boy because I sit there and do all the bitch work. Like, I mean, obviously I help with
Mm-hmm.
other things. Like I go into rough cuts and look at the animation and take notes, and I assign things to people. I just kind of, I help it run a little bit more smoothly is what I
Mm.
do.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I'm fine with that. A lot of people find it boring. A lot of people don't like it. But like I said, it offers me the chance to be creative and I can draw my own stuff. And I feel like the pressure of being an animator and hitting those deadlines is off my shoulders now, because that was something that was just really, really hard for me to take. As much as I could hit those deadlines, I was never given the
Mm-hmm.
opportunity to hit those deadlines correctly. So that was always a really big issue.
Makes sense.
Wow, I can't believe this segued so much. I'm so sorry.
Can we try to find a chill and vibing topic to go on to now?
Yeah. Well, I mean, how long have
Cool.
we? Oh my God, it's 10:30.
We're almost at 3 hours.
How much longer do you want to go
Um,
on for?
I think we can like hit the 3 hour mark,
Yeah.
maybe 3.5 hours. Depends when we want to go to bed.
Okay.
I'm quickly. You're talking about like production and the animation media stuff. Got reminded me about my one acting gig I had,
Oh yeah, how did
and
that go?
well, I'm gonna see if they've finished it yet because they haven't. They said when they were done, they would send me like a finished copy of the video
Mm-hmm.
and also like a file of just all the behind the scenes stuff so I could edit together what I wanted to as
Mm-hmm.
well. I can't remember how much I told you about it. 24-hour broadcast. Whoa!
Oh my God. I don't know if I could do 24. Like even right now I'm getting a little bit sleepy.
I
But
can't do more than a 3 hours. I can't do more than a 2 hour stream on my own. I
oh,
think
I've done
4 hours.
7, 8 hour streams on my own.
My problem is if I go 4 hours on my own, by the second hour I've already lost my voice because I go full on, I go hard,
Yeah.
screaming nonstop. Um, and so like on my own I can't do that because like I'm trying to be entertaining when I'm on the camera on my own. I'm not me. I am the performance.
Yeah, you're
Uh,
Lord Nope.
I am the Lord of the Nope,
You
absolutely,
did
and
a
I'm gonna
24-hour stream before us? That I couldn't do that. God, I'd be
why?
so tired.
Let's see. Let's
Dude, teach me your
currently
ways. Actually, once we get the crew going, we should all do a 24-hour stream. That would be fun.
haven't received anything for
Guesting that way you
my
don't talk.
acting
See,
gig.
and you know what? That's a good idea, Queen. Especially, dude. Actually, okay, I'm gonna throw this out there. Would you
Are we
guys
gonna
be
get?
interested in a mukbang?
Oh my god, that's been on the schedule for forever.
I know, and I really want to do one. And now that I have a nice microphone, I could just
Please
chomp.
don't start chewing in my ear again.
Dude, okay,
Um,
honestly, I would probably be eating Korean food. I fucking love tteokbokki.
Depends on what you're eating. She'll be eating me out.
Oh my
Sorry,
God. Bro,
thought I.
fucking leave.
Hey, I threw up at the thought of it too. Don't give me that.
You rented out a hotel? Oh my God, that would be so much fun if you just get like 10, 12 people and you just like rent a hotel and just fuck around the whole night and stream.
Hey, I'm quarantining for 2 weeks so I can see my grandparents. So I'll be ready in 2 weeks if you want to do that.
I'm down. I
All
genuinely
right.
hate mukbang. Okay, you know what? That's fair. That's fair. I don't
You
mind
don't
them depending on who I'm watching.
see for me. I've never watched a mukbang. I've understand the concept, but in my mind, it's like, hey, you've got your friends or the people you're gonna talk to about whatever podcast stuff you're gonna do, but you're also eating food. You don't. I don't like eating messy food, so that's not something I'd get into. Like,
That's fair.
uh, greasy ass buffalo wings where it's like all over my face, like, oh yeah, so I have so I went to the beach the other day. And I was like, that's disgusting, man. Talk with your mouth, chew your food, and then talk. Wipe your face off. It's like, you're gonna see me there, fine dining cutlery, and it was like
Yeah, and
delicious.
I would
Anyway,
just be
back to
like,
what we were talking.
yeah. Yeah, no, the audio is like really good. Thank you, Russ, for the recommendation. I fucking love this mic so much. I did a little Rice Krispie chew test and it was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, she did. And I hated
So
it.
mukbangs do sometimes involve chewing in the mic, but like if you guys don't like that, I'm not gonna do that. Like, if
Thank you.
anything, I would just sit back
My
here and just
goodness.
eat while streaming, if that makes sense.
Appreciate it. Really appreciate it. That's cool.
Yes, Russ, let's do a crew dinner. That would be so much fun. Oh, we should do like a little potluck dinner. Oh, that'd be so much fun.
I'll bring the hot dog buns.
I definitely prefer if you. Okay. That's good to know. That's good to know. That's good
What
to
were we
know.
talking about before this? I can't remember.
We don't need to. We could just continue talking about food.
All right, cool. I like food. Food is great. What's the food you want today?
I plan one day to do a 24-hour stream, but you can't really do one alone. I think I need a friend to show up as guest. Do more. Yeah. No, that's fair. That's fair. I think the only
I
time
would
that I
have
was
to like tap out sometimes. Like somebody swap in with me. I'm gonna take a nap. Ellie, you're on. I'm sleeping.
Okay, let's go. I mean, the only game that I was able to play for like 8 hours on stream was The Sims, to be honest, because it's such a fucking chill game. I love The Sims.
Goodness. All right, so you've seen how I've set up my place recently, right? You know my new layout.
I think so, yeah.
My TV is like in front of my couch, and then my couch is right in front of my bed, so I can literally just crawl from my couch to bed, and just fall asleep. I recently got USB extension cords, and I've also plugged my computer into my TV. I never have to leave my bed again.
That's smart. My bed is like literally right over there. Because this is like
so
where
fat.
I work. That's funny, dude. I wanna do a VR stream one day.
Do it. Why wait?
Oh, we should do a Beat Saber one because Beat Saber has the
They've got
competitive
multiplayer
thing.
now.
Yeah, we could do some BTS.
I that one song you downloaded. I tried to master.
Dynamite. Whoa.
Yeah, that one. Oh yeah, intermissions are always an option.
Dynamite. Sorry.
You're just vibing right now. You're doing it. You're going.
In the stars tonight. So watch me bring the fire, set the night light.
So, I got something to bring up, which I'm gonna ask you about. I have never been passionate about something like that. Like you're vibing, you're feeling the BTS, and you're always excited to talk about it. I've never had that about literally anything in my life. What's it like? What's it like to like appreciate something like that so much?
It's tiring.
I hate it. It's horrible.
It drains.
The happiness it brings me. I wish it would die.
It drains my wallet. Like for instance, so there's a store in Vancouver called Art Box where they get a bunch of BT21 stuff and they sell K-pop stuff there. And they were like, oh, this new BT21 set came out, like grab it now. And normally they only get one of each character, so I was like, fuck, I gotta grab Koya and Mong. So I go in there and I'm like, okay, well, like they're cute, but maybe I'll just grab Koya because they look kind of small, but maybe they're big.
Okay.
So I ordered it, $80, went to go pick it up the next day. It's this fucking small.
I have to wait for the stream to catch up so I can see how small it actually is.
It's the
I will
size
keep
of my
posting.
hand. And guess what?
Oh, there it is. Oh my
Guess
goodness.
what? This big boy
Yeah.
was 60.
Wait. Okay, I'm imagining you're gonna show me a bigger one in a moment. Oh, it's the one that I really like. I like him. He's cute.
I actually got him when I was in LA to go see them. So it has a very
Aw.
special place in my heart. My Koya baby. I just realized Steven is wearing Christmas lights of stupid.
I just realized.
That's funny.
I had to take them off for them to be noticed. I'm just always so festive. They blended in.
That's funny.
I just set that up for my spouse, the whole bed TV thing. She's never gonna move. So
I can't do that because it's just, I mean, my bed is right there and like I work, like it's just that's the other thing that I hate about working from home is that it's so hard to have a routine. Like I am somebody who needs a routine, especially being introverted, but if I don't see people, like I need to recharge my social batteries, okay?
Yes.
But I also need to be I need to be forced to be social, which is what work did for me. Work made me social and it made me go out with people and then come home and recharge my batteries. Without that, I get really depressed. So this whole pandemic has been such a struggle with that because I don't leave my house.
Understood, Rob. I will
you know?
commit that. Yeah, no, I hear you. I get that. Like that's also me in a nutshell.
Yeah. It's just, but yeah. Anyways, back to BTS.
Back to BTS.
Oh yeah, Nicole's joining the crew, right?
I look forward to it. Gonna be so much D&D. Back when I was like taking a break from YouTube, I wanted to do a couple streams. So I was like, all right, I'll do a D&D stream because that's super lax. And like I can just vibe and make maps and stuff. So if Queen is still here and you haven't gone to bed, there you are. I want to apologize that I never got around to the D&D streams. They are something that's still on my mind, and I do hope to do them. I bet I couldn't have a bed TV. Now a bed that has like a desk built in, a cabinet with a drink holder, all that stuff, different. But I couldn't be in bed the whole day. That's just depressing. So that's what I was like in high school. I had set up my computer so I could just stay in bed and I had a wireless keyboard. So I really hope I don't fall into that habit because Allie saw me when I was 200 pounds. That's what she means when she's like, "Wow, you really picked yourself up."
I remember I didn't recognize you, and yeah, I have met Nicole Russ. Actually, speaking of this, so I don't know if I actually ever introduced you to Steven Russ, but when you invited Zach and I to the Skyrim New Year's Eve party at EXP, Steven was actually there, and that was the first time I actually saw Steven, how Steven looks.
Oh, you saw me at the halfway point then, because I wasn't even at like.
But I was shocked because like when you came up to me, I was like, Steven? Like I was so like I didn't recognize you.
All right, I'm gonna say something really quick. Nothing big. However, it is kind of big to me. I was reminded of it when Russ gave me their pronouns. So I am when I can afford to do it legally, I am changing my name from Steven to Havoc.
Oh.
So that is a name I've always wanted to go with, and like Steven to me is the old me in high school, and like you don't know, but I was a pretty like just shitty person. I may not have done it outwardly, but inwardly I was like a really horrible person.
Yeah.
And changing my name to Havoc is like leaving all that stuff as behind as possible and like being a new and better person.
Well, I'm
New
excited
chapter, that's
for
exactly what it is.
you. That might take me a
And
little bit to get used to, just so you know, but I will do my absolute best.
I appreciate it. That's all that counts.
I
Like,
make a
I
lot of slip ups, but
I've been
I don't
going
mean them
by
intentionally.
Havoc in my head. I've been going by Havoc in my head for a while, but I never like told my friends to like call me by that because they all knew me as Steven. But now, since I've moved out closer to the Vancouver area and I've made new friends, I introduce myself to them as Havoc. Tubes knows me as Havoc,
Oh
and when they started
right.
calling me that, I felt nicer, and I didn't think I'd enjoy it so much. So now
That's
I'm
fair.
like I have the confidence to tell old friends that like this is my name now.
Oh,
And
you could have
I
told
would
me. Yeah, no. I'm super happy for you. Like, I mean, you already saw me accidentally mess up my best friend's spouse's pronouns. So I was like, "Fuck. They, not she." So like I will probably do something like that because I've known you for so long, but like just rest assured that
get mad that I'm called if somebody calls me Steven, but it'll make me feel better when you call me
oh, of
Havoc. So like
course. No,
a little
no.
bubbly feeling. And
But
yes, you can call me that. And Havoc with a C. Uh, just because I don't, it feels less intrusive. The K is such like a big letter. That's such a stupid thing. I know. Thanks, Phase, by the way. Like when I started the YouTube, I actually wanted to introduce myself as Havoc, but I said Steven by impulse, and
mm,
so that's how they started referring to me as. So I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I'm Steven
nah,
now.
you're havoc now.
Thank you.
You're havoc.
It's like it's been almost a year off of YouTube. I'm gonna come back, fully new me. I am Havoc.
Yeah. I wanna. Okay, this is like I'm not making a joke towards you, but FaZe's friend
Right.
Stanley was like he was trying to make up nicknames and he called me Aloe. And I just thought it was so funny.
Oh, Aloe.
And I'm just like low key, I kind of fucking dig that. Like I kind of dig Aloe.
It's cool. Aloe is great. You heal. You have healing properties.
So I feel like I low
Oh, you
key
have
and FaZe, you
it's
can
okay.
tell him that
Phase.
I low key want to steal that and just use that as like my internet alias name, Aloe instead of
I mean,
Allie.
if you want to, I will start referring to you as Aloe on these streams and stuff. 100%. You know, for some
I just think it's so funny, and people are gonna be like, "Oh, why? Just use Aloe." Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna start it. You give me the okay right now. That's it. That's your new identity.
Just use Aloe. It's all good.
Oh, it's Aloe. Good.
It kind of reminded me back in
When I called you Allosaurus.
yeah, when we were in fucking biology, we were watching the documentary on Allosaurus Rex, and you're like, Allosaurus, you're Allosaurus now, and I'm like, what the fuck? Where did you come up with that? Especially because in high school, people called me Alicia, right? Like Allie
Yeah.
wasn't a thing until after I left our hometown, so it's
I
Alloc.
I don't think I ever called you Allie in high school. I think I called you Alicia, but
No
I
one
think
called me Allie because I hated it. I absolutely
oh, okay.
hated Allie. And then,
So do you want to know how I referred to you as, but you never really picked up on it?
oh no, what?
I always called you Leisha.
Oh, no, 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 no. See, and that's funny because my parents would call me Leash.
Really?
Yeah, my papa calls me Leash, and so does my stepdad. He calls me Leash or Leisha. Like they don't say the A a lot actually.
It's just for some reason like the easiest sounding letter is what we like. Oh, we don't need that.
Yeah, no. No, yeah, so like I
Uh,
probably subconsciously knew that, but I was so used to hearing it at home that it probably
mhm.
never registered. But yeah, so like leash is like a really big nickname in
Aloe-
my
that's
family for me.
Aloe. Sorry, I was reading the chat.
Do we have Allie or Aloe? It's Aloe.
Also, Queen, thank you. I appreciate that. I understand like coming out is like a big deal, so I want to be accepting of anybody if they approach me as like I prefer to be called this. It's like 100% damn straight. If
Oh
that's what you
yeah.
want to be called, then that's what I'm going to do. Um
I'll do my
I
best.
will admit, it's taken me a while to be more accepting of pronouns and that sort of thing.
Me too.
I never looked down on anybody for requesting that, but I just never understood it originally. But with me traversing over to being referred to as Havoc and being able to appreciate being called that, I had a firsthand experience of it, and so like I do understand more now. Uh, but at the same time, it wasn't that I was like, these people are just making a big deal out of nothing. It was like, oh, I don't get why you want this, but I'll try to accommodate you. And now it's like, damn straight, you want that, you're getting that.
Yeah,
Uh,
and like, I mean, I think I was very much, I was stubborn about it because I didn't understand it coming from somebody who's just a white straight female. Like I
growing
didn't.
up in a highly conservative city where they
Oh,
don't let you think differently.
yeah, and like, and I'm happy. I think it also comes with like getting older though too, because again,
Mhm.
I mean, I still love edgy jokes. I fucking love them. But I think that was a part of like the toxic mindset I had with all that stuff when it first started coming out. I was like, oh my God,
Mhm.
that's so fucking dumb. But like now that I'm
So
older, I understand it, and honestly, it doesn't hurt. Like what does it change in me if I have to call you Havoc? Like really though. Like
mhm.
how does that affect me? It
You've just made a new friend that you already have chemistry with, so it's
Well,
fine.
and like I don't know, it's not a big deal. And like I mean,
Mhm.
again, I fuck that shit up so much, but like I don't do it intentionally and I do my
No, no.
best to remind myself, right? And I think as long as you're doing that, then that's okay. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
As long as you're not intentionally being like, "You know what? Fuck you, Steven. I'm calling you Steven." You know what I mean?
How
Like
dare you?
like
I actually told somebody I considered my best friend at the time that like, oh, I want to change my name to Havoc, and the first thing they said to me is like, well, I want to keep calling you Steven, so I'll do that. And so at the time I was like,
ugh,
well, whatever.
that's
So that's why
gross.
like so that was my first experience with it. So that's why I kind of like wrote off my experience as like, oh, I guess it's just not something that people care about. So, but
That's
then like
gross.
I
I'm sorry,
like I
man.
mentioned,
That really
I've
sucks to be
slowly
treated
changed
that
it.
way.
Well, that's why like if I wouldn't tell my family that I'm changing my name to that because my grandparents wouldn't understand.
Yeah.
But also my grandpa's middle name is Steven, so I was kind of named after him.
Uh,
Uh, which it's not anything to slight my grandparents for. I just feel more comfortable with that name, and more so just because like I wanted to reinvent myself, and that was a portion of it. So like I'd never tell my grandparents. I know my older sister, if I told her that, she would be very accepting of it.
mm-hmm.
Uh, as for my mother, I don't talk to her anymore, so that's
Yeah.
fine. I don't need that,
She doesn't need to
and
know.
she doesn't need to know anything about my life.
Yep.
But let's not get into that topic. We're on good vibes right now.
But yeah, I'll do my very darndest to call you
I
Havoc.
appreciate.
And
Do
again,
your best.
if
If
I
you
fuck
slip
up
up, I
though,
won't be hurt.
well, if I do fuck up
It'll
and
be
I
funny
don't
if we're
correct
hanging.
myself, correct me.
Okay.
Cause
I just think
sometimes I
that
got a fucking brain the size of a pea. So
it might be funny if we're like hanging out with people and like you call me Steven and they all know me as Happy and they're like, "What? Who is this man?" It's like, secret identity.
oh, having to explain I married a trans person to my family. Yeah, and and that's really tough. I'm sorry you guys had probably what I'm assuming was a rough time without Russ because nobody should. Because again, at the end of the day, who does it hurt? Like
Mm-hmm.
realistically, why would it affect me? It doesn't,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Like yeah, that's rough. I don't know. I wish people were more open to change, but if you can't change that, then just change the people that you have in your life. And like that's
That's
like a shitty way of putting it, but like it's
it's
not
gonna
worth
hurt,
it.
but like if
Yeah.
I guess the best way to like metaphorize it is if you've been bit by a snake and they're pumping the venom into your vein, it's gonna hurt to rip him off, but you're gonna keep getting poisoned until you do.
Yeah. Some don't
So
actually understand as they don't have. Yeah. And you know what? And that's very true too, especially like small towns. Like it's not a very
yeah,
well known thing. And like, I mean, like Steven and I were saying, we grew up in a very conservative city. Like
I don't
very
think it
conservative.
changes. I don't think it changes with that information. It doesn't change your response of like if it doesn't affect you, it shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
The people that get mad about it are the problems.
Oh,
Because like
100%.
and that's where like the fear of coming out with those kinds of like requests and pronouns is like if someone's going to get mad at you for being like I don't identify as any gender, I would prefer to be referred to as they them, and they're like, oh, what the fuck is that about? You're like, dude, what does it do to you? You don't have to understand to respect someone.
Yeah. I leave
So
with the
like,
name. I genuinely hate it. You aren't naming me. Yeah.
to keep a trend going. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, names are a legal thing. Um, Families will do it to keep their name going, but because we are past a hierarchy and like biblical nature, names are now a legal tool to identify you and keep track of you. They're not a tool for perpetuating your family name, unless that's the culture you grew up in. That's still a very like Japanese and Chinese thing. They're very big on like the family name and
Yeah.
such. I don't know much about Indian or like Hindu or Punjabi culture. I would imagine that they're also big on the family name because they
I
are.
think it's
I'm
very similar. I
they're
could be
they're
wrong
big
though.
very big on family, but in like modern terms, the name is just a legal identifier. That's why you have a lot of big name actors will legally change their name for the big screen because like either they didn't like their name or maybe they didn't want their family having to be as involved in their public life because
Yeah.
when you become an actor it's like paparazzi and such.
My middle
So
name is passed down from like my aunt, I think. So me and my cousin and her all have the same middle name.
mhm, mhm.
And it's an old person middle name. Like, oh my god.
I feel like middle names were only ever invented to be a status symbol in olden days.
Yeah. It's so
And
fucking
now,
weird.
but like when you're growing up as a kid, the middle name is just how you know you're in trouble.
Really though. Really though.
You get called down with your full name, including the middle. Is like, what chore did I miss? Oh my goodness.
I like how this podcast just went into so many different directions.
It's great. We're just throwing it at the wall and seeing what sticks. That's the best kind of like conversation,
I
in my
made like
opinion.
this Google sheet. I'm like, okay, so we could talk about this topic for this podcast, and then the next one we'll have another topic and blah blah blah. And now I'm just like, oh my god.
Hey, look, we did a lot of venting. We got a lot of stuff off our chest, and now we're into the good vibes of just accepting people. And I think like that's a podcast I can be proud of.
Yeah, that's true. Dude, I don't even know if I'm gonna edit this. I might just throw the fucking 3 hours up on YouTube and be like, okay, peace, have fun.
That's what I'm doing. This is just gonna be a stream. I'll make a playlist for the broadcast,
Broadcast.
the broadcast, and like throwing signs at the wall here and see what Queen. That's where I got it. That's exactly what it was. Although I will say I'm very proud of my comment of like no prep, maybe a train wreck.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah, like the person in me is like, stay on the topic, stay on the topic, stay on the topic. But my brain's like, what about this topic? And I'm like, fuck.
We're the ADHD podcast.
Oh my god.
I really want to go. So obviously, like we're the big depresso beans a lot of the time. COVID made that 10 times worse, and therapy is nothing to be laughed at. It's a very useful tool, 100%. I have the problem where it's like I know what my problems are, so therapy won't help me. And don't fall into that mindset. That's a wrong way of thinking. But instead of therapy, I want to go to a psychiatrist so I can simply get a list of the cocktail of psychoses that is my brain. Beth, welcome to the stream.
Hello.
Bethany
Hello.
Boo is one of our OG subs. Same with Queen.
Actually, since there's a handful of people here, do you guys have any requests for other topics that we can talk about on the podcast? Because this one obviously is just all over the fucking place. There's like literally nothing consistent in this one.
I'm sorry.
No.
I'm very much to blame. I will swap between 7 different subjects in a regular conversation
Oh,
because
me
one
too.
thing mentioned, and I assume that's what the new topic is. Um, it's very difficult. I guess I personally just didn't know enough about creepypastas to be able to
I'm
consistently.
surprised. I am actually genuinely surprised. I thought that would be something that you would know, so I'm like, man, we could
It's
do
something
this.
it's something I love, but it's not something I know. So like I love hearing about it. I love listening to other people talk about it, but I've never looked it up on my own. If somebody
Okay.
sends me creepypasta stuff, it's like, ooh, that's creepy. Ooh, I can't go to sleep now. Thanks for doing this at freaking 10 o'clock at night when I'm gonna go to bed. Ooh, time to watch some like Happy Tree Friends for 5
Dude,
minutes.
oh my god, I fucking love Happy Tree Friends. That shit got me
Ooh,
through
I
animation
know you
school.
did. Really?
Dude, I sat there coloring my fucking final film while watching Happy Tree Friends. I love Happy Tree Friends. Oh my god. Shit. Mwah.
Queen says consistency is very boring. One stream you can be making parodies or popular products. The next you can be talking shit about history teachers or whatever. That's fun. I think what Ali wanted more of was consistency of a specific topic per individual stream. So the next broadcast could be about something different. But with the fact that we're all over the place in one stream, so if you come back to this, you have to know the exact time code when we
Yeah.
started talking about the thing you want to find. Is what's going to make it difficult.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I don't mind doing this. I want to make sure that you guys like this cuz I mean, this is obviously for Havoc and I to have a good old time, but we also want to make sure that you guys are enjoying this, you know? Cuz like that's what podcasts are for, is for other people to listen to and just vibe to, and we want to be able to offer that. So like
Oh, absolutely.
if you guys love the tangents and everything, then we'll just fucking make it up as we go.
If you guys don't like the tangents, I'm sorry. They're here to stay. I can't help myself sometimes. You just gotta let it out.
Just spew it everywhere.
Oh, Beth, you just missed the animation school conversation too.
Oh no, that was more of a rant about the industry.
That's what that she says. I know what I would rant about during a podcast, but that's because I'm a nerd and research random things. So she would definitely appreciate what that was only like an half hour ago at this point in the podcast.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a happy rant. Renamed it to the Tangent
No.
Cast. It's the broadcast, episode 1, Tangent Cast.
Actually, that I think this one's just going to be called Tangents, to be honest.
It's all over the place.
It's everywhere.
It's fine. I would listen to a Tangent Cast, absolutely. I mean, I'm part of it right now. Ooh. Back to an earlier topic about things entering the public domain. I wanted to point out that also means The Evil Dead will soon be entering the public domain. I knew you'd appreciate that, so I thought I'd bring that up. For Beth,
Fuck
who
yeah.
missed that, so the public domain is obviously when you can take other people's work and remake it into something of your own without fear of being sued or something. Disney spent millions of dollars to change the laws, so the public domain is like you have to wait 70 years for something to enter the public domain. In 2024,
Felix
Mickey
the
Mouse
cat.
as a character will enter the public domain. And that's one of the reasons that Disney changed the rules, was so they could hold on to Mickey Mouse for longer. I'm curious what they're going to do over the next couple of years to try to tighten their grip on it even more, because they're a company. They're going to want to keep their IPs for as long as
Well,
possible.
and especially Mickey Mouse, though, right? Because he's such
He's their flagship.
family-friendly character.
Exactly.
That, like, Disney doesn't like it when you put satanic symbols on Mickey Mouse or have him chopping off a Minnie's head. Like, they don't like that shit.
So I watched so I follow a philosophy channel on YouTube. They're called Wisecrack. Highly recommend them if you're into like philosophy and such. And they did a take on how Disney has the powerhouse that they are shaped media, and they're part of the problem for why we just have remakes of everything. Um, is Disney has done the same thing that Japanese culture has done to media, where it cutified everything. If it's not cute, Disney won't publish it, and that was a big thing with Mickey Mouse, and what how you mentioned that they're a family friendly symbol, and how they based everything on that, and how when they get their grubby fingers onto anything, it has to become cute, it has to become family friendly, and that's why there was so much fear when Disney bought Marvel. And you can already see in the stuff that they're putting out, they've toned down Marvel quite a bit.
Oh
Like the kind of humor it is, it's not noticeable unless you know what to look for. And because we know what Disney does, and we've seen that, and you're in the industry, so you know how producers can come in and be like, it has to be this way,
yeah.
and you know better because you've done the art. You're like, oh, but this would get so much more love and affection. It's like, no, we're paying, and we know that this makes money. It's like, I mean, this could make you more money if you're willing to take that chance, but they're
That's the
not.
thing. They don't take risks. They can't. They
And
don't do it.
that's exactly, and that's the big problem with Disney and producers and such. um And the only way we can fix that, my voice cracked because I'm losing my voice now, is if we stop going to their movies and paying for their services, because we do have that power. And now we have the issue of we don't even have to go see their movies because they created their own streaming service. So it's like, if they're making money from that, what do they have to change? They now have you on a monthly subscription.
Disney is like the biggest, greediest powerhouse I've ever seen on this fucking planet.
And like, you can't say anything bad about them. You want to know the funniest Disney fact that I have?
Mm-hmm.
So if you are an artist working under Disney, any art you create while you're under contract, meaning if you go home and you create a character, it is owned by Disney because you signed your contract.
Hmm.
Do you know what animators do to kind of like get back at it in spite? They will create so much porn under Disney's name that Disney has a porn vault
That's so
of
funny.
things that they will never release. But because of that clause, animators are like, all right, here's Big Titty Minnie Mouse. Put that in your vault.
That's funny.
You guys now owned this. And you have to admit that you own Disney porn.
That's funny because I think that might only be um, an American contract thing because when we take on Disney contracts up here, that's not a part of the clause.
Really? Good
Hmm.
to know. Maybe if
But
like
we're also service studios up here,
mm,
so that's the
yeah,
difference.
it might be like a direct Disney.
Like if you
Uh,
work like directly under Disney, that's probably what it is. But if you're
yeah.
contract based, I don't think. I could be wrong though.
Felix the Cat is public domain, and I want to merch the fuck out of that. We've got to catch up on some chat. We're getting like little paragraphs here. Queen says, I think a perfect broadcast for this is one where it's random topics, but all the topics are kind of one after. That's what we've been doing. So
Yeah, that's
there's
true.
always one segue that brings it into the next one.
That's true.
Public domain would have been a good topic. We started with public domain almost.
You have a
Uh,
lot more knowledge about that than I do. Like, as much as I'm an artist, I am so fucking dumb when it comes to those topics. I just,
it's
I
it's
just
because I
like to
really like
draw.
philosophy. I like philosophy and the inner workings of the machine that is the system that we are forced into.
Yeah.
Uh, like I feel very strongly with Canada's garbage system of operating on debt. If like you can't live your life unless you're willing to go tens of thousands of dollars in debt. You want to go to school, student loans. And when you get out of school, all right, you've got to pay back all that debt now. You want to buy a car, but you work a minimum wage job, get a $10,000 loan. You've got to pay that off, and you're going to be doing that for the next 30 years. And I hate that. I've spent my life ensuring that I don't have to like become more indebted to something that I can pay off in a month with my job.
Yeah.
And that's one of my things that we talked about at the start of the stream, or maybe it was before we started the stream, where like if I hit the age of 30 and I haven't been successful, to me that's a failure, like I've lost. But I've set myself so far behind because I'm not willing to go into debt, because the system is organized around putting yourself in debt. But I plan to retire at 30. I don't want to spend the last years of my prime, like age-wise, working a job day in and day out just to get 2 days off, because that is not a way to live. That is a way to waste away. Your time is more valuable than the money they are paying you for it, because the money you are getting is essentially what you're trading your time for, but you don't get time back. You can get money in so many ways, but you can't get time. And when that's over, that's over. I don't personally believe in an afterlife because I'm a nihilist. To me, everything is inherently meaningless, so I have to find as much meaning as I can while I'm here. But if I'm stuck at a job, that's literally the source of my depression and having free time to live my life. And so, but we've got a system in place where it's like you're expected to retire at 65 when your body is too old to do anything, to experience life. You want to go into hockey, is like, your bones are brittle now. You want to travel the world and see things, all right, but COVID or your internal clock's bedtime is like 7 p.m., so you don't get to really enjoy anything.
Hey, Steven, sorry to cut you off, but can you find meaning in a pencil?
No, but the person holding it can truly decide what value it has. Yeah, I'm 30. That goalpost keeps getting pushed back. I want to start off to get that money back. I turn 31 next week.
Oh, it's your birthday next week, Russ?
Happy early birthday, Ross.
Happy early birthday.
Yes, I'm hoping that if they cast Squirrel Girl, they stick with the chubbier body type, aka I want to play Squirrel Girl. Please God, when Disney crumbles, let all the porn get released. Rule 34 would have been a field day. Well, that's the same with toy companies. Anytime Mattel has tried to sue MGA for brats, are the same thing. Pencils create the base of things we consider masterpieces. So do paintbrushes.
Actually, technically, wouldn't that be our hands? Because we're in control of it?
Oh, damn! Spitting truth like it's fire! I'm unsure of what happens when we die. It's most likely there's no afterlife, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong too. I would be great if there was an afterlife. I mean, like, I would love if there was an afterlife, and I would love if whatever deity might exist sees me and doesn't say, like, you didn't believe in me, so you don't get to move on. He's gonna be like, yeah, here you go. I've got an isekai for you over here. I would love an isekai afterlife. Like, you take everything you learned in this reality, but you get reincarnated in another one that's just more interesting. Like, I want magic. I want to wave my hand and fire comes out of it. It's like, I want to be great.
As long as I'm a vengeful ghost.
Vengeful ghost.
I don't fucking care. If I can spook people and haunt people, then that's my goal.
But, like, to me, being a nihilist is like, all right, well, there's no afterlife, so I have to find my value now. I can't expect to be gifted everything I wanted after I die and just sit here idly by as if I'm gonna get everything. I did that through, like, my first few years of my 20s, 18 to 21, and all of high school. I just was waiting, expecting greatness to be placed in my lap, because I felt like I was owed it just because I was having a bad time. But that's not how life works. You have to go and create it yourself. But the system in place is designed to keep you from reaching that. And it's like, screw that. I'm gonna pull out all the stops. I'm gonna go until I die to at least get a glimpse of the peaceful, at least, peak of my life that I can get. When I hit 30, um, if I haven't reached my goal, I'm gonna say screw it. I'm gonna quit my job and I'm gonna start traveling with the means that I can. I'm gonna see the world, because that's what your life should be: is as much experience as you can get. Because if you can't do things that help you grow and perceive things and change for the better, you're not living. You're just there.
Havoc just spitting facts here. Straight facts.
It's what I feel. If you do that, vlog your travels, Cower. That's the plan. That's on my bucket list, to see the world. I want to backpack from one end of Japan to the other. And
Bro, I want to go to Japan.
girl,
Dude,
come with me. We're gonna
we'll go to Japan.
backpack through parts of it. You don't have to come with me the whole way. You
Dude,
can see
I'm
the
not
parts.
fucking walking through shit.
You know what? They got lots of sky trains. When I say backpack, I just mean like I'm not staying in one place. I'm gonna
I'm
start at
staying
one
in
point.
Harajuku and going to all the cafes and just living my best life and buying all of the anime statues, and then that's it.
That's where the money comes in. Like, save up as much as I can now, so when I go traveling, it's basically like, do I travel on hard mode or easy mode?
Bet
And then when I
phase,
come back,
bet. Walk to Japan.
Japan, block to Japan. I'm gonna strap surfboards to my feet and I'm gonna walk to Japan.
Bet. Well,
Uh,
we're coming up at the 3.5 hour mark.
we are. We started hitting like the really like deep topics of live your life, don't let the world keep you down, take your first step. If you say you don't have enough money to do it, find a way. There are ways to do it on a cheap budget. You just have to do it when the world is not in a pandemic. That is my only stipulation. Because I was gonna do that last year. I was gonna quit my job and go out and start traveling, because it's like I don't have a lot of time before I'm 30 left, and I want to do this. I have to do this. I've decided that at the end of this year, I'm quitting my job and I'm gonna do as much as I can to make money other ways, because this takes too much of my time. Thanks to the GameStop situation, I've already made a ton of money.
Wait, you did that?
I didn't get into GameStop, but because GameStop made stocks so popular for a short time, a lot of people bought into stock market stuff, which just increased the price of a lot of different things.
I'm so stupid when it comes to it. Teach me your ways.
I can give you a quick rundown. I will never tell you what to buy into, because you have to make that choice yourself, because if it goes bad,
Oh, come on, man. Just kidding.
There's this one weed stock that I've been trading on and off every week, because it never gets really high. When the GameStop thing happened, though, it went up about 20 cents. And you're like, okay, 20 cents isn't a lot of money. But when you have 80,000 shares in something and it goes up 20%, you've made like $20,000.
That's true.
You went from $6,000 to 26 grand.
That's true. Canoe to Japan. Google Maps.
Canoe to Japan.
Hell yeah. Let's do it. Let's all hop in a canoe. No. We're gonna build a raft like they do in the forest. And we're gonna
build a raft and raft to Japan.
Yeah, if you ever play the forest, you can build rafts and just fucking.
No. We gotta build rafts like the game Raft. You can build like a freaking water slide on it.
Paddle to Japan.
Yeah.
It's an option on Google Maps for real? Okay.
It's a joke. If you type in and then you type in to go by foot instead of by like vehicle, it'll show you like canoe across the Pacific Ocean.
That's fucking funny. Okay, so let's see how long it's gonna take me to get to Japan, guys.
Queen
Japan.
says, we just have a squad of 50 people all walking around the planet, and news organizations come up with, like, why? And we're like, Havoc wanted to, and we're sick of life, we're joining. It's like, that's it. That's the next ARG. I'll go ahead of you guys. I'll leave secrets and clues all over the world, and you guys can find them and follow in my footsteps or something. Or maybe you get ahead of me because the clues are like, you're solving the puzzles too fast, and you, like, meet up with me somewhere in Switzerland. It's like, oh, welcome. I didn't expect you to get this far. Now you must solve my riddle 3. I've had so many arguments with teachers on how the school system is failing me as a student with mental health issues. Oh, it doesn't care about mental health issues either. That's like another big thing with the school system. Canoe to Japan. All I'm saying is that if a
Oh,
question
fun
asked,
fact. I worked on Carmen Sandiego.
Who said Carmen Sandiego? Where is it? Ah, Russ.
Rusted.
I love that. I love that knowledge. When I was working at the Halloween store and they had the Carmen Sandiego stuff, every time I walked past the little stand, I was like, "That's right. My friend helped make that. I'm so proud of her."
Want to hear a funny story about Genshin Impact? Sure.
Welcome.
I only played that game for maybe like 2 hours, and then I got bored. My attention span for video games is so small.
Aloe. I played that game.
Did you just call me Aloe?
I did. I'm gonna try to make it stick. I played that game for like 3 months straight during when I lost my driver's license, and
yeah.
And like I got so addicted to it, I actually spent money on the game.
Oh my god! Actually, you know what? That's not as bad. I don't mean to throw Phase's bros under the bus, but my god, do those boys really spend the money on Genshin?
Oh my god. So the funny thing is, after I spent the money on it and I finished the event that I spent the money on, I stopped playing the game. I was like, well, I've spent the money. I've bought the game now. It's no longer entertaining to me. I've paid for it. I don't need to play it anymore.
That's funny. Oh yeah, Russ, let's do Jack in the Box, but I'm gonna cheat and use my iPad.
Gasp. Havoc's World Adventure ARG. Let's go. Absolutely. It's a plan. Not get kayaks. They're much easier and faster. All right. Well, we're at 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
I think this is a good time to wrap up because I've got to work in the morning.
Stanley did spend so much money. So much money.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, I guess it's time. I'm actually getting really tired. I think like the last hour I was like,
My dinner was 4 pancakes, and I'm hungry again now because it's like past 10, and that's when I get second hungry.
Yeah.
So time for a midnight snack and then bed. Thank you everybody for coming to the first ever cast.
Bruh. Aww.
I'm sorry, man. It's good to see you. It's been like more than 2 years.
Were you actually watching the whole time, Phase?
Phase got to be pretty early.
Yeah, no, Phase is great.
He's responding a lot. Bethany, welcome. I'm glad you got to like come in. Part of the...
Yeah, thanks, guys. I don't know. Hopefully, we can make this I don't know. I'd like to do a more regular thing because it's just chatting. So
I could do it regularly. Probably I might. Every week would be a bit much for me because I get bogged down really quickly when I routine. I could probably do every other week.
Yeah, that's fine.
When I was streaming a lot more is another reason why I had to pause my channel because it just got too much with everything else I was trying to do.
Oh, of course.
So
better than be tilted on Overwatch. Yep.
Better than getting tilted.
Are you ready to hop on some Overwatch, Phase? Let's go. Okay, but yeah, thank you everybody for supporting, especially because like this is like my first big thing, so I really appreciate all the fan supports, and thank you for the follow, you guys. That's really sweet.
Don't forget, if you're on my YouTube, you can check my description for Ali's Twitch. There he is. There's Journey on your Twitch.
Yeah, thank you. But yeah, thank you for coming to our cast. I'm just gonna do the bruh.
That's it's gotta be the trend now.
The bruh cast.
You gotta say it like you're almost burping.
Bruh.
like we're frogs or something.
But yeah, thank you everybody for joining. And yeah, hopefully we'll have a little bit. If you guys actually have any suggestions, feel free to like, I don't know, I'm pretty sure my DMs on Twitter are open. My DMs on
You can even
Instagram
just,
are
like,
open.
tag us on Twitter
Yeah.
with the topic too.
Oh,
Make it open. Don't hide in the DMs. Make it public and have other people like your suggestion, and then we'll know how much people want to talk about it.
and keep an eye out because Russ, one of the people who was watching with us, is doing a gaming crew, and Havoc and I are going to be a part of it. So keep an eye out for that. But yeah.
Possible D&D streams in the future, other games, the whole sham shabam.
Yeah. But again,
Let's end the stream.
thanks, guys.